And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we still got the wildfires going on. We still got a lot of finger pointing, a lot of blaming. Who's to blame? Who did it? Why'd they do it? We'll talk about all that and more, a little bit later. Also, the TikTok ban is looming and the kids are not doing well. Hey, the kids don't like this at all. They're like, hey, where's my TikTok? Give me my TikTok. We want TikTok. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, shout out to the House Republicans for banning men from women's sports. Oh, trans women are women. Well, when this so-called trans woman develops the ability to birth a baby, then we can talk. But until then, when you turn 40, 50, whatever it is, get your prostate exam, sir. We'll talk about that a little bit more, a little bit later. Also, we got to talk about some of these Senate confirmation hearings. You got Pete Hegseth, Pam Bondi, a lot of other people. You know, there's always grandstanding and all kind of other weird stuff with these things. A lot of hypocrisy, which of course we got to point out. And what about Pete Hegseth talking about, oh, he cheated on his wife? Really? Cheated on his wife? How about Doug Emhoff kissing Jill Biden right in their mouth? We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty, we got a whole lot to talk about. There's a lot going on. Shout out to you guys for checking on in yet again. Good weather out here where I'm at in Tennessee. It had snowed the other day. And the snow was cool. It was cool to get a white Christmas, past Christmas. It's fine. But that snow was gone. Like, it was some frost on my car this morning a little bit. I got out, started driving. The sun hit it. It was gone instantly. So all the little snow we got, that's pretty much a wrap. It was fun while it lasted. Shout out to you guys up north. Your snow has just begun. Ain't that right? You guys are just beginning to get the snow. Y'all got to have snow pants and stuff like this when you outside. I can't do nothing with it, man. I'm not trying to have my kneecaps and whatnot get wet from the snow because the snow is that deep when I'm walking outside. I'm good. I like this climate. It was like 55 degrees today. It was beautiful. It was perfect. I ain't need no coat, no jacket, no nothing. I was good. All right. But again, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. Yeah, NERN, global cooling. Yeah, what they call climate change, like the climate change thing, before we even get into it, the climate change thing has got to be one of the biggest grifts of our time. One of the biggest grifts, if that's the word, of our time. And it's always changed as long as I've been living, 40 years. Okay, what was when I was a little boy? When I was a little boy, they were talking about ozone layer. And if you spraying, hey kids, if you keep spraying up these walls or graffiti, you're going to blow a hole in the ozone layer. Captain Planet said so. That was a thing back then, right? Acid rain, ozone layer. That was the issue. And Al Gore was right on stage talking about acid rain. I've not seen Al Gore talk about acid rain since 1992. Because now the new thing is climate change. Before that, global warming. Before that, acid rain, ozone layer. Before that, global cooling. You get a cold winter. Oh, it's because of we're going to get into a new ice age in 5 years, which never happened. Then they say, oh, the polar ice caps are going to melt and Miami's going to be underwater. Didn't happen. Fear mongering, just like AOC. Imagine how many children and or young people believe AOC when she says we have 12 years left. It reminds me of the whole Y2K curve. People thought that we were going to just die when the clock struck midnight on New Year's Eve, 1999. they thought we would pretty much be dead. That's the same thing they got going on here. Now, obviously, it's 25 years later. We didn't die. We did not die from the year 2000. Remember those stickers they put on the computers? Y2K compliant. Like, if that sticker wasn't there, you were going to die because your computer was going to explode or something like this. Just fear-mongering. And they haven't really changed their tactics. They fear-monger you to try and make you change your behavior without passing a law on you. Because when they pass laws, that's seen as tyrannical when you just want to adjust behavior. Why is this law here? Why is that law there? Why is that illegal? But when they can brainwash you and make you change behavior without having to put a law on you, hey, it's a win-win. No new law had to take place, had to become enacted, had to get put on the books, and you voluntarily did it to yourself. And guess what? You're so brainwashed, you've been brainwashed so well, what you're going to do is have your neighbors and your friends and your colleagues do the exact same thing you're doing through peer pressure and straight up direct messaging. Hey, you should do this because the news said so. Just like the whole vaccination thing. Stand 6 feet apart. Wear your mask in the restaurant, but then when you sit down and eat, take the mask off, and you're going to be scarfing down all types of manicotti and breadsticks. You eating the whole Olive Garden with no mask on. And then after you done and you're about stuffed, looking like you're about 8 months pregnant with a food baby, Olive Garden Tavius. After all of that, you put your mask on. I did good. I'm helping. Ridiculous stuff. But when you are brainwashed, when you are told to believe a thing, you'll do stuff like that. And this whole thing with these apps, TikTok, listen, I think what's happening right now with TikTok, before we get into it, I think what's happening right now with TikTok is that the government kind of overplayed their hand, or they underestimated the reality of the situation. And also, you got a lot of people that don't understand social media. So they think the extent of China's infiltration into social media is TikTok. Meanwhile, there's other social media apps that come from China. There's websites that come from China. Stuff like NTD, that's New Tang Dynasty. Did you know that? NTD, that website and newspaper, that's called New Tang Dynasty. China. Shenyun, China. It's Falun Gong, they're great. China. A lot of the things that we see every day, newspapers, mainstream media, a lot of that has already pretty much been infiltrated by China. And we've seen some of these spies, Fang Fang, Yum Yum, all that kind of stuff. We see that all the time. So just trying to ban TikTok, to me, is kind of narrow-minded. If you want to ban TikTok with the idea of trying to remove China from being able to influence people through the social media apps or any kind of way, you need to make it be a lot more wide sweeping. You want to ban Tencent, you want to ban ByteDance, good luck with that. They own everything. Okay, you want to ban Tencent, bye-bye Fortnite. Bye-bye Fortnite. And look, your kids are not going to like that at all. You want to ban Fortnite? Over my dead body. Hey, your 12-year-old boy is in the room right now, hearing the sound of my voice, talking about they're going to ban Fortnite over my dead body. That will be their response. So I think it might be a little bit too little too late trying to ban TikTok. It's like, bro, you're trying to ban embers from fire during a raging inferno. Okay, you banned one ember out of the millions upon trillions of embers all over the place. What good will that do in reality? Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't understand the way things work. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I've reached unk stage and I don't know what's going on. But I know a little bit. I know enough to know that just banning TikTok ain't gonna cut it. You need to go a lot deeper than that. And also, look at what's happening on American social media apps. The funniest thing to me is the conservatives say, oh, we got to ban the spicy stuff. We got to ban the prime. We got to ban all that. You're going to ban Instagram because that's all that's on there at this point. That's all that's on there. I mean, if it's not, I can't tell. I can't tell. Hey, you go to your app right now, click on the wrong video, you're going to see a bunch of wrong videos. Okay, it might be right for you, but it's wrong if you're trying to ban that stuff. I don't know. I think we've gotten a little bit too deep into this, and the people who are in charge to try and regulate it have no idea what's going on. A lot of them probably can't even send the facts. Okay, they can't even send the facts properly, let alone really kind of trifle with the mechanisms of social media and the algorithms and all that kind of stuff. And the thing about TikTok, before I get to anything else, before I get to the show, the thing about TikTok that they want to stop is the potential for China to use it as a weapon directly. Let's say you have half of Americans on TikTok every day. They're on it, hooked like heroin, because that's what it is, liquid heroin. Not digital heroin, not liquid heroin. Digital heroin. When they're hooked on it, all they got to do from China is just send propaganda that's dedicated just for certain people. They know what kind of pushes your buttons. They understand what's going on. They send their propaganda through, and now, boom, you got a problem. They can spark civil unrest. They can spark misinformation. They can create confusion in a time of an emergency. It's a big risk to what's happening in America. If they were an American company, then they would have some kind of dominion over them to prevent that kind of thing from happening. But since they're not, they can't really do much. That can be a weapon of war, a bigger weapon than a nuclear bomb, potentially. A nuke might hit one area. It'd be devastating. But if you can put out things on TikTok that would affect millions covertly, kind of, you don't know what's going to do for you in the current moment and also in the future. You have no idea how much you can damage people through these applications on your phone. That's why I try to always bring education, real information with cited sources and a little bit of humor, rather than it just being completely BS content that serves no purpose, that has no value, that is just there to get you to watch, but it won't educate you at all. And sometimes it'll misinform you. That's what a lot of your TikTokers and whatnot do to you. Okay. But anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. So what's it? Epic Games. I'm just trying to make sure I'm saying the right thing about Fortnite. So Epic Games is owned by who? They're talking about Tim Sweeney. That ain't really, hold on. Let me see. He was a shareholder. Okay. Now, Epic Games, those are the people that have Fortnite. Tencent acquired a 48.4% outstanding stake, according to 40% of total Epic in 2012. Tencent, of course, big Chinese company. Think Apple, Google equivalent in China. All right. Think about it that way. $609 billion in revenue in 2023. $609 billion in revenue in 2023 from Tencent. And then you have, what's the other one? You got Tencent and ByteDance. These are really big companies. Big companies. And I'm not sure we have what it takes to really defeat them. But, we're going to get to that, Corty. I got you on that. I got the Biden farewell address. I got the Senate confirmation hearings. I got all that. So let me get straight to it. Shout out to the sponsors, of course. Y'all know. And thank y'all for supporting the baked in ads. I appreciate that on the videos that I read. Aura and a bunch of other guys. Shout out to you for watching those and clicking the links. I appreciate it. But also shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us and tell them that ABL sent you. Somebody says, is TikTok like YouTube? I have no idea. TikTok's like an Instagram, Facebook. You just scroll. It's like short videos. What they're doing on YouTube now is they've created the short videos and the reels to compete with TikTok, because so many kids especially are hooked on it like heroin, that you have to have the big apps try to copy it to a certain extent to get some of that market who wants that quick hit, the The 5 second, 1 second, get straight to the point, that type of thing. You know, them quick dopamine hits. That's what they want. And they've been able to replicate that on YouTube to a certain extent, Instagram, Facebook, etc. All the big ones do that because that's their chief competitor. Like Vine, something like Vine, yes. But Vine was real quick. I'm surprised it didn't really take off. I was watching the video about Vine before I get back to my introduction. I was watching the video about Vine from this guy named King Batch. He used to be on there a lot. Black guy, actor. And he said the reason why Vine died is because he went to them trying to get paid. It was him and a bunch of other guys that are really big on there. They were trying to get revenue. And they were like, nah, we good. And now, fast forward many years later, all these TikTok pays you, YouTube pays you, Twitter, Instagram, they all pay you. Some pay a lot more than others, but they all pay. So they were just trying to get the same thing that everybody does now. And Elon kind of brought that era in of everybody being paid, because before Elon, Twitter did not pay you. But anyway, I'm getting way off track. Shout out to patriotpost.us. Of course, link will always be in the box. Shout out to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and you'll be able to see articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from Democrats, Republicans, politically agnostic, from local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it as long as it's legal. It'll be right there on the website, anthonyblogan.com. Thank you, Sheree, for the link. It's right there. Y'all see it? anthonyblogan.com, ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my email address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok until it dies on January 19th, allegedly. All those links are right there on the contact page, so you can contact me and make sure that it's me. As I always say, please don't get scammed. In this year of our Lord, 2025, did y'all guys see the Brad Pitt situation? Wait a minute. Okay. I'm not going to do that voice. I'm going to show you the whole Brad Pitt thing. Hold on. So somebody got scammed out of a whole bunch of money. And here it go right here. Okay. Here it goes. Now, in French news, I suppose, a woman 53 years old was scammed out of 830,000 euros by someone posing as Brad Pitt, who said he was in love with her. She divorced her husband, gave her settlement to the scammer, later to realize that it was fake when she saw Brad Pitt with his new girlfriend in the news. So I guess that's her, the person that got scammed. I'm not really sure. But then look at all these pictures. So I guess the story that this woman was told is that Brad Pitt is in the hospital. He's sick. He needs your help. And she was sent all these pictures to prove, my dear, I'm in the hospital for real. I am so sick and I cannot make it out of here. Please send me money. Send it to my associate, Alogum Obawale. Brad, that sounds very Nigerian. Sure you're not a scammer? I'm not a scammer. Hey, come on now. I seen you that picture of me in the hospital bed. It's me, huh? I beg. Hey, listen. Okay. If somebody is sending you pictures of ABL in a hospital gown, just rest assured it's not me. All right? I'm good. I'm totally fine. I take care of myself. Hey, you're not going to see no barrage of images of ABL in a hospital bed. All right? Okay? You're not going to have to find out on the news, I got a girlfriend, and then you realize, oh, that wasn't ABL. Okay? So please, don't be this person. No, it wasn't me. Back up. It was not me. I swear to God, it was not me. I promise. I promise it was not me. I mind my business. I don't do the 419. I don't do this stuff here. I'm not a scammer. I'm an honest Christian man. But anyway, yeah. So shout out to this lady right here. Please don't do stuff like that. Don't nobody got time for that. Like that's a real story. I saw that. I was like, man, y'all doing too much. But see, that's why I always do that warning, because some of y'all do that. Not you guys in the chat. You guys are smart. You guys would never, ever fall for a fake ABL. Y'all know how I sound. And I don't sound like this ever. I don't sound like that. I cannot help but do the accent I said I wasn't going to do. But anyway, hey, to the Nigerians out there, don't nobody get offended. I love y'all. Y'all know I feel like I'm one of y'all. I'm like 80% y'all, so y'all like my cousins. All I'm doing right now when I do the Nigerian voice, I'm just imitating my cousins. That's it. So shout out to the Nigerians, Wakanda forever, all that good stuff. Alrighty. I am Brad Pitt. HP. I am Brad Pitt. I am Brad Pitt. That is my name. Yeah, but Brad is all right though. Brad good. Yeah, he's straight. Okay, we got some Chinese trolls in here. Okay, ni hao. Hey, you know what's funny about that video I did about the app, the Red Note app? My little video got like 20,000 views. It's not a viral video or nothing like that. A bunch of Chinese comments. This is slander, misinformation. Why are y'all on my little video? Why are y'all on my little video? Is it because you get paid to go post on videos that are negative towards China to make it look like I'm the bad guy? To try and gaslight the people who are reading it? You guys are professional trolls. How much you get paid to be a pro troll in China? What, like 15 cents an hour? What you trying to get you trying to get a bag of rice to feed your family? I get it. I understand. I ain't gonna knock the hustle. I get it. 100%. Anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. And you know what? I'm going to give the Chinese trolls their flowers, okay? If I have some flowers right here, I put it right in front of the screen. I give them their flowers. You know why? Some of you guys who troll, not you guys who watch all the time, y'all know it ain't y'all. Not the good, normal people of the community we have here. Some trolls that come in here are just basement dwellers, and they do this because they just are bored or they got some kind of emotional feeling toward me. When they see ABL, they get offended. Then they want to come in here and express themselves, spend the whole afternoon, evening trolling me to get zero in return. But over in China, they are professional trolls. They're getting paid to do it. Now, it might be a bag of rice, a piece of sushi or something like this with a little bit of gutter oil on top, but it's better than trolling just because you weigh 1,000 pounds and you live in the basement and all you can do is troll. Your range of motion is limited. It's going like this. Tapping on your phone, laying face down in your bed. Okay? That's all you could do. But they are doing it for a particular reason. You understand what I'm saying? So hats off to the trolls who do this to get a bag of rice for their kids. All right? But we're going to get to China in a minute. So don't you worry. Never you worry. Now, I got to show one video here. This was my favorite video. So JD Vance visiting his family cemetery in Breathitt County out there in Kentucky. Now, this particular area, I'm going to play it. Hold on. This particular area is not far from West Virginia, and it's not far from the Hatfield-McCoy area. Right there on the border, West Virginia, Kentucky, that's where the Hatfield-McCoys were. Like, those are some real families that really existed, and this area is not that far from that. This area is like in between, but not in between. The Hatfield-McCoy situation is in between this area and where I was born, where my family's from, in Charleston, okay? Hey, YouTube, I need an exemption. Since I'm from Appalachia, I should get an exemption for Appalachian music. All right. It shouldn't be a copyright claim to me because I have a right to it by my birthright. That's what I'm gonna go with. It might not hold up in court, but I'm gonna go with that.
On the banks of the great Miami, in a plane carved out by ancient ice, I was born in this midwest city.
What do you do, Corner? Decorate the grave or something?
My folk had hopes to make it paradise. Jackson, Kentucky, and West Virginia, Appalachia, and Tennessee.
Now, this scene right here, of course, if you guys can't see it, this is J.D. Vance visiting his family cemetery in Breathitt County in the Appalachia area of eastern Kentucky. Now, this scene reminds me of when grandmother died, because we went to this mausoleum like way down the river and it's mountains. So it was a bend on the side of the mountain. So as we're coming up, we can see all the other cars that have come in front of us. You understand what I'm saying? So we're kind of like a horseshoe. We're on one side of it going up and around the mountain, and people are already up and around. So we could see the whole line in front of us from where we are in the car. So it kind of reminded me of this right here, where it's a bend and you could probably see them from the back as you're coming up. That's what it reminded me of, 100%. Like a lot of your mountainous areas is how it looks. It's kind of how it is. And if you're not from this area, it's kind of hard to describe the feeling that you have when you here. You definitely are grounded. It makes you appreciate what you have when you leave this area. It's like a whole different world. And when I was on High Twins, I had to explain to them, it's like, I feel like I'm a first generation American, like a Nigerian or a Haitian or something like this, because this particular part of the world is not the same as the rest of it. And to be specific, this part of the country is much different than the surrounding area. That's probably part of the reason why I always hated California. California is the antithesis of West Virginia, Appalachia, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, etc. It's the anti that. We're more grounded. We're more hardworking. We're a much tougher people. We're not limp-wristed, Gavin Newsom. We're not like that. Gavin Newsom is like the worst kind of person to us. And it's not even about no color thing. It's about your behavior and what you stand for. So shout out to JD. I like that we got an Appalachian vice president. And I can't wait until 28 when we get an Appalachian president. I can't wait. That's going to be fantastic. Fantastic. I can't wait for it. So shout out to JD, my main man, the triple OG, JD Vance. All righty. So shout out to Ohio, Devin. I see you. You want to get out that way? Hey, man, go out there. It's all good. Hey, go to West Virginia. You're going to have a good time. People are going to be very nice to you. The main thing you're going to see in Appalachia, everybody's nice. It don't matter what color you are, everybody's nice. Your car break down, they're going to come out and help you. But you want to do something crazy, you want to go up there and try to sell drugs, you will get deleted. Don't do that. Hey, you know what? I'll put it to you this way. You go up in one of these hollers, acting the fool, trying to sell drugs, trying to hurt people, they will delete you immediately. It won't be no police or nothing. You will get deleted, put in the back of the holler, and then that'll be it. It'll be a wrap. But if you break down, your car breaks down, you need some help, they'll come out there and they will do whatever they can to assist you. Just don't act up. And that same thing should go for everywhere. Don't act up and you'll be all right for the most part. Unless you're in a crime-ridden, illegal alien-ridden place, then it might be a little bit different. Now, speaking about things you could do to prevent bad things from happening, now we have this. Why don't we have this kind of thing in America? All right, let's check it out.
This is where the
And RIP to the headphone users. Let me get that sound down a little bit.
sprinkler would be going, and it would just be coming up from there. It runs down the roof and hooks back down into the 50mm poly line. So we'll just connect onto that, and it will shoot about a 12-meter radius around this section to kind of protect all that area there. Pretty much all the houses around bushland and are in a fire zone, but we would recommend to have one installed. You'd hope you never have to use it, but if you do, it's here, so you can use it.
So look, you have a sprinkler system that basically is on the house, on top of the house, on the siding and everything. So when it needs to get activated, like in the case of a fire, they could just go ahead and turn that on, and then they have some protection. And what I would do, I might have a big tank, 200 gallon. I don't know how big the tanks go, but in case my water failed, I would have a backup system of physical water right there, a tank of water ready to go. Like, I probably would collect rainwater, but I'm not sure if you could do that in the United States without getting some kind of tax. Hey, try to collect some rainwater in the United States and see if you don't get a big bill at the end of the day. But this, pardon me, this is what you would need, okay? Something just like that. And there was a guy who did this. Shout out to him. I'm going to find that video. There was a guy who did something like that in California, and he was able to save not only his house, but a bunch of other houses. Let me find that right quick, because that is what we need more of. Imagine you got just one regular dude, one regular guy who was able to save many homes. Okay, he was able to save many homes just by having a sprinkler system. And it was like one of those ones that wave back and forth, something like that. Something that you would put in your lawn. Here we go. It's something you put in your lawn. He had that right on top of his roof, and it saved his house and many others. Check this out. And let me just get rid of that distraction and let it rock. And do we have sound? All right, let's go.
How did you manage to do that?
I was able to, after the last brush fires that got close to us a couple years ago, I bought these cheap sprinklers, the ones that wave back and forth, and bought hoses, had them ready, popped them up on my roof, turned them on. I sprayed down a fire retardant on the side of my house, and I left. Got out with my family. I got trapped by the flames going down Sunset. It was difficult. It was like Afghanistan type difficult. But what happened is, because I had those sprinklers up there, the flames came down the hill, and you could see from where the sprinklers arced in the backyard that the flames came right up to that water and stopped. And below me are about 14 houses, my neighbors, who I've been able to tell them their houses are still there. And you can see where the flames went up the hill, and along Lockman, I was just up, and it's devastating. All my neighbors up across the top, their houses are gone.
Your home did.
So there we go. Hey, shout out to him. We need more of that. Imagine that. Just one man is smarter than the entire California government. So, when I'm talking about California, I'm talking about the leadership. I ain't talking about you guys that live there. I know we got a lot of hardworking, dedicated, kind, respectful people in California, but your leadership is bad. The people that live there, a lot of your left coast liberals, they're bad. So that mix just makes for a toxic environment when it comes to governance. And this toxic environment has led to death and destruction. I mean, I can't say it more times. All you got to do, clear the brush, make sure you have water in the reservoir. Okay, basic things. Have enough firefighters. Don't worry about diversity, equity, inclusion. Don't worry about trying to get Captain Bulldagger a promotion. Just get the correct people, the correct tools, everything in place to be able to fight the fire. And everybody in the world knew the fires were coming. They got the Santa and the winds. They call them that because they always happen. Hurricane force winds that are channeled into these canyons, kind of the same way that the water channeled in Western North Carolina, which never happens from a hurricane. Like, they don't get hurricanes like that. So this was like a once in a lifetime event where the water channeled in these pathways off of the mountains. Because of the way Asheville is, it's surrounded by higher elevation. So the water just came down from higher elevation to the lower elevation. And that's what caused the crazy damage. Created new rivers and everything else because of the channeling. Same thing with the wind in California. And they knew that it was going to happen in California because it's predictable. High winds, dry conditions. All right, the high winds are going to knock down power lines. The power lines are going to spark. You got a bunch of dry material. You're not clearing the brush. And there's no water, and it's not enough firefighters, and the ground's not wet because you are diverting water here and there because you want to protect this fancy sushi fish called smelt. So now you have, what they said, 200,000 people homeless, 10,000, at least 10,000 structures destroyed. And like I was saying before, the damage, first they said 50 billion. Then they said 150 billion. Now it's 250 billion and counting. Plus the death toll is going to rise. It's just a mess, man. So, hey, if you're out there in Southern California, prayers out to you. Prayers out to you. NERN says fire extinguished by water. Imagine that. Imagine fire being extinguished by water. I know that's a novel idea. That is like, you know, hey, I was today years old when I figured out that water put out fire. I thought it was Brondo because it's what plants crave and it has electrolytes. But hey, I'm wrong. I thought toilet water did the trick, but really it's Brondo. Okay. No, not Brondo. Regular water. Great. Now, speaking about ridiculous things that some believe to be true, how y'all feel about Darwin? Anybody want to talk about evolution? I came across this. I just wanted to show it right quick. Shout out to Clown World for reposting this. And I think Stephen Meyer might have gone deeper on Joe Rogan about this issue of Darwin and Pangea, all that kind of stuff. I just want to show this right quick. And let me get my screen together. Shout out to Clown World for reposting this. And let's get into it.
500 million years ago, events like the Cambrian explosion brought tons of new animals to life almost instantly. But Darwin's idea says changes should happen slowly over time. Both of these cannot be right at the same time, so which one is it? Scientists say whales evolved from land animals, but the fossil record and the huge DNA changes needed don't line up. What really happened? DNA is like a recipe for life, but making new working proteins by random mutations is nearly impossible, like winning the lottery over and over and over and over. With all these challenges, could Darwin's theory be wrong? It's time to take a closer look at the evidence.
So what do y'all think? Y'all think Darwin was right about the theory of evolution? Okay, a whale evolved from some land roaming animal. What did they say? A cow became a whale? Okay, cool. But, you know, at a certain point, whatever kind of transitional animal lived between what the current day cow is and what the current day whale is, at a certain point, that middle animal had to exist. So why is the animal not here, but the beginning and end stages of the animal are here? And if the animal existed, then where's the fossils? Ain't no fossils. All you're going to see ever in the fossil record is cows and whales, never an intermediary in between the two. And that same thing can be said for all things that have evolved. There's no fossil record of it. They talk about humans, Lucy and all the other kind of small apes and things like this. A bone fragment, a jawbone fragment of a small ape, you want to say is a human ancestor. Please stop it. Please stop it. And the craziest thing is that Christians shouldn't believe in this at all because your book says that God created everything. That's what your book says. So why do you believe in this random dude? Why do you believe in what he says when your book says something different? Darwin came way after Jesus. So why are you believing what he says over what your book says? Okay. Y'all just let me know. Anyway. And if I got a Christian in the audience that believes in evolution, then you don't believe in your own religion. See, that's part of the reason why I respect Christianity, but I don't really say that's what I am. And because it gets really tricky. it gets very, very, very tricky. Lucy has been debunked. Of course, that's right, Greg. You're right. You're correct. All right. Michael says 6 days and rested on the 7th. Absolutely. 100%. Okay. God created Adam and then Eve from the rib and she bit the apple. That's God that did that, right? Not this dude talking about a whale evolved from a cow. Like, what? That don't even make sense. It makes no sense. NYC Patriot says, unfortunately, ABL, there's a lot of people who claim Christian who are actually confused. Confusion is their religion. I know I sound mean, but it's the truth. Blunt, sorry, not sorry. You're right. 100%. You are right. Now, speaking about confusion, I saw something from Russell Brand, I believe is what it is.
Now,
okay, so this kind of scene right here confuses me. Speaking about confusion, this confuses me because when you see, like, okay, back in the day, if you were to see a scene like this, you're thinking, okay, is he going to start singing? Is he going to start playing the guitar? Is this a music concert? I think this is a sermon, a Christian sermon. That's what I think it is. Okay, I know how he's dressed and how the background looks. Listen, back in my day, again, here's Old Man Shakes Fist at Cloud. Back in my day, the pastor, the preacher man had this big, untailored Men's Warehouse at best. Really, not even Men's Warehouse. Not even. That's too fancy for my kind of pastor. My pastor be wearing a JCPenney rack suit with a pair of Stacey Adams shoes every Sunday and would just preach until he couldn't preach no more. Nowadays, we got basically boy bands up there doing whatever they want to do. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but let's watch some of this and see what he says.
now that we are tethered potentially to continual self, we are going to have to, I believe, learn new ways of understanding Scripture and new ways of receiving Him. Because as the word was written in the language of its time, anticipating all time, for surely He exists beyond time and beyond space and outside of the senses. The ultimate reality is beyond the conditions of our reality as we appreciate and receive it. We, as inhabitants of this realm, are going to have to learn how to operate within technology. Otherwise, that technology, I reckon it could become pretty Luciferian. It could become a kind of false light. Now the
So what do y'all think? Y'all feeling the message? Y'all feeling the outfit? The little skinny pants and the cowboy hat and the chest hair, taco meat exposed. Yeah, the new age and all that. I don't like it, man. Like I said, give me the old man with the big crazy suit that don't fit at all. Okay, that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see these Hollywood actors, chest hair out, Kurt Franklin looking like Cisco, thong. I don't want to see that when talking about Christianity. To me, it's like it makes no sense. All right. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, hey, if y'all like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. Now, speaking about technology, because he did mention that, Jack Sullivan, who is happy to be gone because they're about to be out of there. Okay, get all these bums. Get Jake Sullivan, Corinne Jean-Pierre, Cackling Kamala, Creepy Sleepy Joe. Get them all up out of the White House. Here we have Jake Sullivan talking about AI being racist. Okay, AI, artificial intelligence is racist. Alrighty, let's watch.
Saying that it's a huge national security issue. Is there a concern about how it does not, AI is, on the national security front, is not accurately depicting or scanning people of color? Because we are understanding civil rights groups are very upset about that, how it's misidentifying. Is that a concern with national security as well?
Yes, it is, of course. It's if you think about the series of concerns that are raised by the advent of artificial intelligence, they range across economic, military, and social risks. One of those is bias. And there have been a lot of studies to show that bias is a genuine challenge when it comes to artificial intelligence and the ways in which that could undermine social cohesion in the United States and globally has national security implications. And terrorism has national security implications.
All right, so there we go. I mean, the racist part, I don't know, but of course, there's valid concerns about technology, but the whole thing about the racial bias, I mean, really, you're wanting machines to do the jobs that humans normally do. Humans might be able to tell how people are not necessarily looking the same. We can see a lot of your facial features. You should kind of be happy that AI is not that good yet, because we have some kind of hope. I'm not sure. How you feel about AI? AI, I think, can be used for good, but it can also be used for evil. Like with anything else, it can be used for good or evil. We'll see how the whole thing plays out here pretty soon. All right. Now, take a look. I found this to be funny. The whole climate change thing. Climate change. So CNN did a segment where they're showing that search results. I mean, not results. They did a segment talking about how searches for climate change have gone down by 9% in California. And wildfire has gone up by 2,400%. 2,400%. That's the increase in searches for wildfires, not climate change, because Americans know that climate change is a grift. It's not real.
Look at the monthly change in Google searches. Look at the searches for wildfire, up 2,400%. My goodness gracious. This is the most amount of people searching for wildfires ever, going back since Google Trends began back in 2004. But look at climate change. Look at the change. It doesn't go hand in hand with wildfires. It's actually down. It's down 9%. And I also looked in California. There has been no increase in the number of searches for climate change. So the bottom line is, take a look at the monthly change in Google searches. Look at the searches for wildfire, up 2,400.
So look, everybody knows what's going on. Hey, there's a fire happening right now. It's right outside of my house. My friend, my cousin, my neighbor, my sister, whoever lost their house. The house is in jeopardy of being lost. I need to search for results for what's happening right now. Wildfire. I'm not worried about climate change. Climate change is not the cause here. I mean, just because there's an adverse weather event does not mean climate change is the reason. Ain't no such thing as climate change. You know what? Matter of fact, I take that back. There is a thing called climate change. And you know what? Climate change is just called seasons. All right. The climate has changed for right now in January 25 from what it was in August of 24, because we have seasons. We got spring, summer, winter, fall. Okay. And then sometimes it might not be the exact same thing that happens all the time. There could be a drought. That's why that word exists. Drought. Sometimes it doesn't rain. It might rain too much. It might be a flood. It might be a hurricane. It might be a tornado. That's just called weather. And weather is not always going to be working in your favor. Okay, it might be a blizzard, a trillion feet of snow. It might not be any snow. That's just called weather. And Southern California been the same way. People go there because it feels pretty good, 70 degrees, no humidity. Why no humidity? Because it's dry. We're right by one of the hottest places on earth. Death Valley ain't that far away. Okay, it's hop, skip, and a jump from Southern California. It's right there. Okay, now you could drive there from LA, it'd be easy. Vegas, nothing but a big dust bowl. Vegas ain't nothing but dirt and dust and rocks and really big buildings for no reason. Big buildings for no reason. Horse pies all on the ground. That's Las Vegas. All right. If not for the humans being there, building it up, it'd just be the Sahara Desert, basically. And do you know that Sahara Desert is not like super sandy? It's a bunch of rocks. It's some sand, but it's only like 20% sand, where it's like sand dunes. Anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. We got an Asheville, North Carolina update. Don't forget about Asheville. Whenever I can talk about anything, like if it's not my channel, but somebody else's channel, I'll bring up North Carolina because they still got some problems. Asheville has not been really repaired yet. Let's go ahead and check this out.
I can't even believe that I have to make a video about this. In Asheville, North Carolina right now, it is 26 degrees. The low tonight is going to be 20. On the way home from work, I saw 5 new tents pop up on the side of the road. Those 5 tents are not existing homeless. The 5 tents are new homeless. 5 new tents in a 4-mile commute. Why the F are people sleeping in tents when it's 20 fucking degrees outside?
Sorry for the cussing. I wish people would not cuss, but hey.
The news outside of Asheville is not covering this. Asheville is not good. Asheville is not back together. And Asheville is the biggest city amongst all of this area with the most resources. So what does that say about the surrounding towns like Marshall, Burnsville? Oh my God, Chimney Rock.
It's devastating because, okay, it's not just Asheville that you have to worry about when you're worried about Asheville, because this is going to be the hub for a lot of the smaller towns that are nearby. And when I say nearby, I mean up to maybe an hour away sometimes. What else is out there in that particular area, aside from Asheville, as far as a place that has resources and jobs and things that you may need in a small town that you can't get in a small town?
People sleeping in tents in 20-degree weather is not okay. I posted a video a couple days ago. It went viral. I'm super grateful for that because it means that the dialogue is getting out there. Please don't stop sharing it. Please don't stop the discussion. People are cold. People are homeless. And this is not okay.
So yeah, there's still some issues in North Carolina. Let's not forget about that. You know, we got California happening right now, which is active right now, and I get it. But there's a bunch of places that got some issues. I mean, we had Hurricane Milton, Hurricane Helene. Now we got the wildfires. It's all kind of stuff. The migrant crisis still going on. It's a whole lot happening in this country. There's a lot happening. Now, speaking about the wildfires in California, this is a real thing, okay? It says LAFD fire update real, and you're going to just hear it. Okay. Is this Captain Bulldagger? Well, this might be a different Captain Bulldagger. They got a Bulldagger arsenal. They got a Bulldagger brigade.
My name is Captain Jennifer Wilcox. My pronouns are she, her. I am a Caucasian female wearing a black shirt uniform with eyewear and a black hat. My name is Captain Jennifer Wilcox. My pronouns are she, her. I am a Caucasian female wearing a black shirt uniform with eyewear and a black hat.
But why does all that even matter? I guess the whole idea is, okay, if you can't see her and she can just describe herself, why does it matter though? What's that got to do with the fire? What's that got to do with the fire though? We're worried about the fire. Where is the fire going? Do you have it under control? Do you have water? What do I need to evacuate? Why am I worried about your pronouns and she, her, and all this and that? Again, see, you're worried about the wrong thing. Even if it's inconsequential to fighting the fire, talking about your pronouns, it just seems like it's something that you don't have to worry about. Why is that even a thing you get trained on? Get trained on fighting the fire. Get trained on fighting the fire. That's all you got to worry about. Do your job, exactly, Marcel. Do your job. That's it. Now, to go back to North Carolina and California and Maui, Hawaii, and everywhere else that's had a natural disaster recently, let's see what we're going to get, or what they're going to get from your man, your president, not your president, the guy who's about to be out of a job in a few days. 5 days. I can taste freedom right now.
And I want to be clear. We're not waiting until those fires are over to start helping the victims. We're getting them help right now, as you all know. People impacted by these fires are going to receive one-time payment of $770. One-time payment. So they can quickly purchase things like water, baby formula, and prescriptions. So far, nearly 6,000 survivors have registered to do just that, and $5.1 million has gone out. And I want to be clear.
So you get a whole $770. So you got a raise. You got a raise from North Carolina. Wasn't it like, what, $750 or $730? If you qualified, of course. If you didn't qualify, you might not get anything, or you may be squabbling to be able to get $300, $275. So, hey, you got a whole $20 raise. If your whole community was wiped out, you lost your house, you lost your car, you lost family members, you lost your job, everything's gone, you get $770. Maybe they've adjusted it for inflation because it costs so much to live in California. I don't know. But you know what I do know is that the migrants get whatever they want. The migrants get them prepaid debit cards loaded to the brim. They're getting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 on the card, and it consistently refills itself. It's a magic card, never runs out. But you, American citizen, here goes $700, man. And you got to apply for it, and it's just for the household, and it's a one-time payment. Be grateful we gave you that. Be grateful for that. That's the message that I got here. All right. Ukraine, hey, Terrence, you already know Ukraine going to get billions of dollars. Volodymyr Zelensky come to the White House wearing a pair of pajamas. Biden, I need some more money. We have to fight the war because there are too many people. We need to fight. We don't want to draft any more young men. We have to fight the war. All right, go ahead. In pajamas with size 7 and kids, boots on, playing dress up like he's out there in the field getting active. He's not out there in the field getting active. He's just going in his little get up in his little pretend outfit. The same thing that he would do when he was a ballerina or whatever on TV, wearing the high heels, dancing. He had a costume for that. It's the same costume for this. And it's just a proxy war between us and Russia to try and weaken them. Then we want to try to be fighting again in Israel, Palestine, that neck of the woods, and we want to fight some more in Taiwan. Or have some aggression. It's just too much. It don't make no sense. It makes no sense. Now, let's go to Kamala. I cannot believe some people, some of y'all watching me, not all, not the majority. I would say 99.99% of y'all were never going to vote for this lady. But there's a portion of y'all out there, however small that portion may be, who were thinking about voting for this woman right here, Kamala Harris. Look, I don't care what she identifies as. I don't care anything about anything other than how bad she is. Let's hear what she got to say. Her 2 cents in the whole situation about, hey, be patient. Look, we're giving you $770. Be patient.
And so it's critically important that to the extent you can find anything that gives you an ability to be patient in this extremely dangerous and unprecedented crisis, that you do. And so it's...
That was going to be your president? Come on, man. We could do better than this as a nation. We could do better than this, man. And again, I don't care about her color, her gender. No, I don't care about nothing, man. I don't care. This is just not a good candidate, a very bad candidate. And like I said a trillion times, we told this nation we didn't want her in 2020 when she came in dead last, when she ran for president the first time. It's like, nah, not her. America said back then, Democrats back then said they'd rather have an LGBT man married to a man with kids they so-called adopted. They'd rather have him than her. That's what they said. Amy Klobuchar, Shaking the Bacon, Pete Buttigieg, LGBT, X, Y, and Z. They'd rather have them than Kamala. Democratic Party thinks that all we care about is skin color. All we care about is how somebody looks, like their, racial ambiguity. It takes a little bit more than that. It takes a teensy bit more than that. Because if that was the case, you could just put any old white guy up there and he would be okay. Now, speaking about any old white guy, let's hear Joe Biden's farewell speech. Let's hear it. It's only about 2 minutes.
My fellow Americans, I'm speaking to you tonight from the Oval Office. Before I begin, let me speak to important news from earlier today. After 8 months of nonstop negotiation, by my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people, from the Oval Office, from this desk as president. And I've been thinking a lot about who we are and maybe more importantly, who we should be. Long ago in New York Harbor, an iron worker installed beam after beam, day after day. He was joined by steel workers, stonemasons, engineers. They built not just a single structure, but a beacon of freedom. The very idea of America was so big, we felt the entire world needed to see. The Statue of Liberty, a gift from France after our Civil War. Like the very idea of America, it was built not by one person, but by many people, from every background and from around the world. Like America, the Statue of Liberty is not standing still. Her foot literally steps forward atop a broken chain of human bondage. She's on the march, and she literally moves. She was built to sway back and forth to withstand the fury of stormy weather, to stand the test of time because stormy. She sways a few inches, but she never falls into the current below. An engineering marvel. The Statue of Liberty is also an enduring symbol of the soul of our nation. A soul shaped by forces that bring us together and by forces that pull us apart. And yet, through good times and tough times, we've withstood it all.
Okay, now this is real. This is straight from ABC News because somebody said, is it AI? ABC News posted it. Alrighty, so that is it. It says, breaking in a farewell address from Oval Office, President Biden held today's ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and would largely be implemented by the incoming administration. So just taking credit for that whole situation. Alrighty. Yeah. And the whole ceasefire thing, man, they got a ceasefire every couple of days. It's like, is that really news? I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's Joe Biden's farewell speech. How'd you like that? Was that a good one or nah? Y'all let me know. Okay. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. It could have been AI, possibly, if they wanted to deceive us. If it was AI, though, then that means that it would come straight from them, and it wouldn't be something that was created on social media. It would be them if they did that, but I don't think that's what it was. What I want to ask is, where was he at? Where was he at, though? Was he in the real Oval Office, in the studio Oval Office? Where was he at? I can't tell. All right, now Pete Hegseth had his confirmation hearing, and look, we got some protesters. Excuse me. Look at some of these signs. So we got pink jackets and pink boots and all kind of stuff. It says no Hegseth, no crusade, code pink. Because, you know, Pete Hegseth is identified by some as an extremist because of his Christian tattoo. Can I show you guys a tattoo? Hold on. I ain't trying to show his chest for real, but let me see if I can. They want to say that he is some type of extremist because of his tattoo. All right. So, yeah, this will work. All right. So this tattoo right here on his chest, that makes him an extremist. It's like, really? The Christian symbol, the same symbol they put on Jimmy Carter's funeral program? Like, was it on the program or it might have been in the actual church? Yeah, it might have been in the actual church or in the program. I'm not really sure. But either way it goes, it's like, come on, this is a Christian symbol. It's nothing. But, you know, if you have that symbol, that means you are some type of Christian extremist and you're going to go on a crusade, chopping off heads and things of this nature. And by the way, the crusades were largely overrated. When you're talking about historical context, they have nothing on the spread of Islam. Islam most certainly spread through the sword, but that's a different story. And I don't want to get nobody offended. So assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you, and God bless you, all that good stuff. But let's go back. So We have these signs: no Hexeth, no crusade, code pink. No Hexeth, no religious extremists. No Hexeth, no Christian jihad. Christian jihad, that's not what, that ain't jihad. That's what the Muslims were doing, not the Christians. And a lot of the crusade was to fight back the Muslims. Anyway, and then it says, stop killing the children of Gaza on this lady's t-shirt. So these are some of the protesters against Pete Hegseth. All right. And there was at least one person who got physically carried out because they were acting the fool inside of his hearing. Check it out.
In our ranks.
Members of the security force will remove members.
So look, did we see him by his feet? Hold on. You see his feet right there? Hey, look, man. Nobody has time for all that, man. Like, I want to see people get thrown out like Barney Rubble from The Simpsons or Jazz from The Fresh Prince. Outside, get out. Like, so I want to see more feet in the air getting thrown out of a place in 2025. All right, there we go. White guy getting tossed out of there.
Members.
Look at my man's face. That's pretty much me as well. Before we continue, I found what I wanted to find as far as a tattoo and all that good stuff. All right, so look. All right, so there's a tattoo again from Hegseth, and then there's a tattoo in the church where they had the funeral. All right, and there's the symbol again on President Jimmy Carter's funeral program is right there. The same exact thing that Hegseth has on his chest is right there on Jimmy Carter's funeral program. And of course, Jimmy Carter was a Democrat. So what are we talking about? Exactly. It just makes no sense. People just say anything. People do anything, say anything. It's weird. It's weird. But let's continue. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff that'll help me out tremendously. All right, this is Senator Reed from Nebraska.
The soldiers I served with were proud to do so, but it was certainly not the nation's most capable military by any standard. We have made great progress since then. Today, the Department of Defense is fully integrated. Every race and religion is accepted. Women serve in all combat roles and leadership positions. Sexual orientation is irrelevant to service, and the all-volunteer force visibly reflects the nation it protects. Our military is more diverse than it has ever been, but more importantly, it is more lethal than it has ever been. The soldiers I served with were proud to do so, but it was certainly not the nation's most capable military by any standard. We have made great progress since then. Today, the Department of Defense is fully integrated. Every race and religion is accepted.
Man, look, I don't care I don't care anything about race, religion. Who cares? Really, the most important thing, you're an American, and sometimes they got these immigrants working or immigrants in the military talking about, hey, when you're done, you'll become a citizen. But what I would like is Americans to be in the military, and let's have the best Americans we have, regardless of all that extra stuff. All that woke stuff doesn't really matter. Are you an American? Are you going to serve your country honorably? Yay or nay? And let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling.
Yes.
So here's Mazie Hirono talking to Pete Hegseth.
Would you use our military to take over Greenland or an ally of Denmark?
Senator, one of the things that President Trump is so good at is never strategically tipping his hand. And so I would never in this public forum give one way or another direct what orders the president would give me in any context.
That sounds to me that you would contemplate carrying out such an order to basically invade Greenland and take over the Panama Canal.
They're still stuck on Greenland and the Panama Canal. Like, why is that even the big deal? Who cares? Who cares? We don't care. We don't they don't really care about that. We got all kind of territories and protectorates. It's like, all right, why do we have a U.S. base in Guam? You know how far away Guam is? You know how far that is from here and how remote that is? Come on, man. Like, they don't really care about Panama Canal and Greenland. They ain't worried about that. And they're so worried about taking over Greenland by force, which ain't going to happen. Why are they not worried about how many bombs we drop in the Middle East and Ukraine, how much money we give them to fight that proxy war between us and Russia? And then we're talking about going to Taiwan, sending destroyers to the South China Sea. We don't really care about getting into conflict. And they want to go hit Iran. That's the ultimate goal, is to hit Iran. That's the end game. And once they do that, it's over with. They want to hit Iran because they say Iran is a state sponsor of terror and they spread terror all over the Middle East and they're going to hit Israel. But if we hit them, now you're going to get nukes involved. And once that happens, it is a done deal. You have what they call mutually assured destruction, which means both sides know if we cross a certain line, everybody dies. Nobody wins. But Greenland is your concern and not all those other conflicts I mentioned that are happening right now. These people just really, they grind my gears to no end. They grind my gears. Shout out Peter Griffin. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Tim Kaine.
Completely.
I've not seen Tim Kaine in a long time. Shout out to Tim Kaine. Tim Kaine was my senator in Virginia. Look at this dude, man. Look at this nut right here. And I think he ran president, didn't he? Did he run in 2020? I don't know, but let's just watch.
Completely cleared. Can you so casually cheat on a second wife and cheat on the mother of a child that had been born 2 months before, and you tell us you are completely cleared? How is that a complete clear?
Senator, her child's name is Gwendolyn Hope Hegseth, and she's a child of God, and she's 7 years old.
And she was, and you cheated on the mother of that child less than 2 months after that daughter was born, didn't you?
Those were false charges. It was fully investigated, and I was completely cleared. And I
completely cleared.
Bro, you talking about people cheating on their wives? Hey, Tim Kaine, you are a Virginia senator, which means you are a DC senator. Okay, now, didn't y'all find cocaine in the White House? One of the most secure places on this earth. You found cocaine. Oh, I don't know who cocaine belonged to. I don't know where the cocaine came from. For real? Really? Okay. Didn't a gay, sexually explicit tape get filmed inside of the Senate hearing room where you guys are at right now? Hey, you guys are right where the dude was getting hunched over right now. You worried about some guy cheating on his wife, allegedly? For real? For real? Tim Kaine. Bro, come on, man. DC is a disgusting place. You guys are all disgusting. Devil's Advocate was a movie about Washington, D.C. Cheating on his wife? Bro, come on. Come on. Stop it, man. Stop. Now, here's Chris Cuomo defending Pete, I suppose. Let's watch.
So, because of his marriage, he can't be trusted with the oath of office. 2 points of disgust. How many people on that committee, how many in Congress could pass the Kaine test that you can't honor an oath to serve if you've ever been unfaithful? Kaine may be sitting in that room alone. Who cares when we are talking about being the top warrior, not our pastor? I'll tell you who agreed with me once about this. Tim Kaine. He supported Bill Clinton for president. He didn't say he couldn't serve, despite all he knew about his peccadillos. He still backed him. Why?
His what now? Wait, what you say? What was that word?
Despite all he knew about his peccadillos.
What's that? I don't know what that means. Matter of fact, don't tell me.
He still backed him. Why? Is president not as important an oath? So what changed? You know, a bipartisan National Security Commission found we are not ready for war with China or Russia. Did you know that? So,
I mean, shout out to Chris Cuomo for keeping it all the way real. Hey, never in my life did I think I'd be sitting here praising Chris Cuomo for doing some good journalism. Imagine that, man. Hey, this world's a crazy place, ain't it? This world is a ridiculous place. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. Hey, you guys with the comments are hilarious. I promise. Hey, don't let anybody tell you any different. You guys are the funniest people on the internets. Hands down. All right. Oh, we got more. We got more. Y'all want to see Pam Bondi, right? Hold on. Let me cue up Pam Bondi. And I got Nancy Mace and I got a lot of people here. All right. So y'all hang tight. Hang tight. And I got you right on up. Okay, let's go, Pam Bondi.
I'm asking you, sitting here today, whether you are aware of a factual predicate to investigate Liz Cheney.
Senator, no one
Based
has
on
asked
what you
me
know.
to investigate Liz Cheney. That is a
The
hypothetical.
president has called for it publicly. You are aware of that, aren't you?
No one has asked me to investigate
But the president
Liz.
has
We're
called-
also
the
worried about
president-
Liz Cheney,
the
Senator.
president has
You know what
called
we
for
should
this-
be worried about?
Ms. Bondi,
The
please
crime rate
answer
in
my
California
questions.
right now
You are
is
aware,
through the roof.
Ms. Bondi,
Your
my-
robberies
Ms.
are
Bondi,
87%
my
higher
question-
than the national
my question
average.
is this.
That's what I
My
want to
question
be
is
focused
this.
on, Senator.
Do you have the
if I'm
power to
confirmed
say
as
no to
Attorney
the president?
General.
I'm asking you.
All right, this dude, why is this dude still here? Is Adam Schiff like, can this guy go away? Can this guy please go away, man? Just stay in California. Stay over there. Like this dude, man, he just got reelected. Or was not a senator before? What was he before? Okay, he was he was in the House. Okay, and then he became a senator. And he's been in office in California since 2001. 2001. And before that, he was in the California State Senate in 1996. So Adam Schiff has been in politics since 1996. You're talking about almost 30 years, 29 years now? 1996, how old was I? Okay, you see me right now, right? Great beard, artist, and that and the third. I'm 40. So 1996, I was 12. Hey, his political career started when I was 12 years old. And now I'm 40 and he's just got reelected. This guy going to be looking like Dianne Feinstein when it's all said and done. Okay, 1,000 years old, hunched over, ready to go ahead and expire. That's going to be Adam Schiff. And the reason why he keeps getting reelected is because California sucks and they like people that suck like Adam Schiff. If you live in California, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about your crazy, ridiculous, liberal neighbors in your beautiful state. That is who is keeping these types of pipsqueaks in office. Let's keep going here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Bond, Justice Sotomayor correctly said this new immunity lies about like a loaded weapon. So the fear and the concern we have is that the incoming president will use that loaded weapon, that immunity, to commit crimes through the Department of Justice. And for that reason, it is all the more important that we have an attorney general who has the independence, the strength, the intestinal fortitude to say no to the president when it is necessary.
All right, I played that. Let's keep on going. So is that all about Schiff? Okay. I don't want to keep playing Schiff. I think I got one more. I got one more that's not Schiff that involves Pam Bondi. Here we go. Yeah. This is Senator Whitehouse from Rhode Island, Sheldon Whitehouse. This guy looking like he's 1,000 years old as well. Matter of fact, hold on. Before I even play this video of this guy talking to Pam Bondi, and if you guys don't know, Pam Bondi is the incoming Attorney General. Well, when she gets confirmed, which I think she will get confirmed, she'll be the Attorney General. Remember, Matt Gaetz was going to be the Attorney General. Well, he was going to be the nomination, but he backed out because he had some stuff going on that was kind of funny. Not funny, ha-ha, but funny like. So he went ahead and backed out, and then Pam Bondi was named to be the next person in line to become Attorney General. Okay, so Sheldon Whitehouse age. How old are you, sir? You are 69 years old, and you'll be 70 this year. You're born 1955, and he's been in office since when? 1993. He began as Attorney General of Rhode Island, and he was that until 2003, and then he became a senator in 2007. All right, and he's from New York. Let's watch.
And it would not be appropriate for a prosecutor to start with a name and look for a crime. It's a prosecutor's job to start with a crime and look for a name, correct?
Senator, I think that is the whole problem with the weaponization that we have seen the last 4 years and what's been happening to Donald Trump. They targeted Donald Trump. They went after him, actually starting back in 2016. They targeted his campaign. They have launched countless investigations against him. That will not be the case if I am Attorney General. I will not politicize that office. I will not target people simply because of their political affiliation. Justice will be administered even-handedly throughout this country. Senator, we've got to bring this country back together. We've got to move forward, or we're going to lose our country.
Very well said. Shout out to Pam Bondi. And you guys are asking how old she is. She is 59 years old. She'll be 60 in November. All right. So shout out to Pam Bondi. All right. Taking care of herself. She looks very good. She looks very good in general and definitely very good for her age. So, again, shout out to her. I think she'll be a great Attorney General. All right. Now, Jasmine Crockett. I want to show this right quick, but not too much of it. Jasmine Crockett is somebody that I don't like. Can I just... I'm gonna play this, and then I'm going to just talk about her a little bit. This is the thing between her and Nancy Mace and whatnot.
We have the right to know that we're not going to have trans people filming us in the bathroom. How many of these trannies are taking selfies? These men are taking selfies in women's spaces, in the bathroom. It's gross. It's disgusting. So if we're going to talk about civil rights, let's talk about the rights of women in this country and how you are stripping them away every single day. And you're doing it in your legislation, you're doing it in your messaging, you're doing it on X. You're making women feel unsafe in this country. And you're making the opportunity for women and girls to be raped, to be sexually abused in this country even greater than they've ever been. So don't come over here with your attitude and talk to me about rights when you're trying to take my rights as a woman, a rape survivor, away. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Very well said. Shout out to Nancy Mace. And I believe she was talking to Jasmine Crockett. Let's keep on going.
Gentlelady yields back. Any member seek recognition? Ms. Stansberry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the gentlelady across the aisle demonstrating why we need civil rights. We need civil rights to protect all people, especially trans Americans who are under attack right now.
Trans Americans. Look, man, I don't care what you call yourself, trans American, trans am, trans specific. Look, man, whatever you want to identify, I couldn't care less. But you cannot violate the rights of others just because you identify as something else. All right, that's just the bottom line.
I'd like to yield the rest of my time to the gentlelady who is carrying the amendment.
I don't even know how we got there because I tried to make it clear how many civil rights, it doesn't just boil down to one conversation, but I can see that somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, trans, trans so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or
Do
not
call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
I am 47 years
emails
old. I have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than
Chairman,
you ever
I am
will.
reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child. I am not a
reclaiming
child.
my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr.
we
Chairman,
can.
the committee is not
Okay.
in order.
Order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Order. Chair recognizes Ms. Crockett.
No, point of order, Mr. Chairman.
State your point.
Is it allowed in the rules for a member to incite violence against another member?
Sit down.
I mean, she wants to take it outside.
Hall monitor, Karen, sit down.
With
Hey, I have the First Amendment right too,
and
young
so
man. I have the
I'd like
First
those
Amendment
words
right.
to be
I'm not
taken
gonna be a
down.
child.
I
I'm
am
not gonna
moving
be
to have
called a
those
child
words
by
taken
any
down.
of you.
I believe it's against the rules.
All right, Mr. Black Guy, sticking up for your halfway black guy. Funny, sticking up for your black sister. It's so many fake black people in this government, man. It's like it's so funny, man. This dude looking like a Key and Peele sketch, Tyler Perry wig. This is ridiculous, man.
Going outside doesn't incite violence. You have a conversation that isn't.
The committee will suspend. The member will.
Look at this dude, man. Look at undercover cop. Look at this dude, man. If you don't get your hairpiece out of here, your Steve Harvey collection. Hey, man, you done dug up one of Steve Harvey's wigs from Comic View 1994 and put it on your head. You gave it a little bit of round edge. Look at this big side. Come on, man. Look at this. Bro. If you don't go back to undercover cop school and stop trying to be like you in politics,
violence against another.
You have a conversation that isn't.
The committee will suspend. The member will state the.
All right, that's enough of that. Now,
Also,
this is what Jasmine Crockett was talking about.
So want to make it clear that just because someone fantasizes or wants to be dramatic about the idea of someone could be a quote unquote man in a locker room or in a bathroom.
So basically it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. But these things actually happen. I've covered stories of men going into women's spaces, going into women's restrooms, locker rooms. I mean, we saw the whole Leah Thomas kerfuffle. Leah Thomas, William, this dude is looking like Michael Phelps, Peyton Manning, Eli Manning, Arch Manning, all the Mannings, all the white NFL football quarterbacks that came from California in the past 35 years. That's Leah Thomas with a leotard on and some long hair, looking like a pro wrestler mixed with an NFL quarterback. That's Leah Thomas. This dude's in the locker room with his full twig and berries out. He likes women, and he's undressing right there in front of the women. They halfway naked. They're like, okay, why is this man in our space? Why is this man watching us get undressed? Why is this man who likes women still, he's not even gay, why is he in here? Okay? There's only two reasons. He's a pervert, or he's a pervert and he cannot compete against the men, so he's got to compete against the women to have any kind of success. When you were identifying as a man, which is what you are, Mr. William, you were pitiful when it came to competing as a swimmer against other men. But then when you identify as a woman, still at 6'4", 200 and something pounds, looking like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool, when you do that, now all of a sudden you become some type of fantastic swimmer, breaking records, and a civil rights icon. It's ridiculous. And to the women out there, it's unfair. You want to compete on an even playing field, meaning with other women. You're going to have differences, of course, but you're not going to have the leap in difference that XX and XY produce. As long as you're in the XX range, you have a fighting chance. XY, what are you really going to do? Nothing but lose. Anyway, I'm triggered. If you like what you're hearing so far, y'all know what to do. Now, here's a little bit more from Jasmine Crockett, and then I'm going to talk about her. Matter of fact, I'm going to just say something right now. Her appearance. It's just, what I think is that she is doing this on purpose. This is not how she really behaves. She's not really somebody that came from, this is not her natural personality. She's behaving like this to be stereotypical to get attention, in my opinion. Or maybe the people that put her in this position want her to be this way. The hair, flipping the hair all over the place, this big crazy brooch or whatever you want to call that right here on the chest. It's just excessive. The crazy eyelashes. You look like you're about to go, rather than going to Congress, you're about to go to the club. And it's done on purpose. You're using these cultural terms like child. You don't talk like that in your place of business. That's not how you talk in the place of business. Why would you do that? And then, of course, it's going to start some kind of conflict. You're being inflammatory intentionally.
No, she is not a champion for women. She is someone that likes to say it, but when it comes down to walking the walk, she's not doing it. That is why I wanted to emphasize that the data and the science is on our side. When we say we're protecting women, it's not just in our words, it's in our legislation. It's in the fact that we believe that women have a right to choose, because I can look at how many women.
All right, that's enough. I'm good. Never mind. Never mind. I'm good. Now I'm starting to get upset. Now I'm starting to get upset, and I'm gonna get off track and start rambling. I just don't like her, man. Like, these people, I just don't like. I don't care what color they are. You know, Jasmine Crockett, I don't like for my own unique reasons. And Adam Schiff, same thing. Okay, you got a white man from California, a black lady from Texas. I dislike them equally, but for different reasons. Yeah, that's pretty much how I rock. All right, let's keep rocking. All right, now here's AOC giving her "I Have a Dream" speech about men in women's locker rooms. Let's watch.
Of all women to choose and have control over their own body, who, as women, are bleeding out in parking lots across the country, standing there, allowing us to die, now want to pretend today that they care about women. And why? To open up gender and, yes, genital examinations into little girls in this country in the so-called name of attacking trans girls. And to that, today, what we have to say are two words: not today. The majority right now says there's no place in this bill that says it opens up for genital examinations. Well, here's the thing. There's no enforcement mechanism in this bill. And when there is no enforcement mechanism, you open the door to every of all women to choose.
Okay, so that's AOC's "I Have a Dream" speech, talking about you're going to open up genital examination. But look, as far as I know, as long as I've been living, there's always been the men's room and the women's room, a men's locker room and a women's locker room, boys' room, girls' room. It's always been that since the beginning, since I've been a little boy up until young adulthood, up until right now. Whenever I go to a public place, there's always a men's room and a women's room. Sometimes you got a family room where it's just one stall. You could go in there and change diapers, things of this nature, right? So what are we talking about? What was the enforcement back then? I don't know. Hey, if men see a man going to in the women's restroom, whoa, hold on, boss, you better stop now. Don't do that now. Okay, now if you want to just bogart your way in there, well, we might have to go in there and get you up out of there. Okay, you're going to have people that enforce that. It's not always about what the government can do for you, what the police can do for you. Nah, we'll take care of that. If there's a man in the women's room and the women are like, hey, get him out of here, we can handle that. There's no problem. Check it out. AOC, if you listening, hear me very well. Let's say I'm in Buc-ee's, right? My favorite spot. Let's say I'm in Buc-ee's. I'm going to the bathroom, or I just happen to be in there. Women are screaming, it's a man. I'm near the bathroom. I'm saying, what's going on? They say it's a man in there. I'm gonna get other guys that's around with me. Let's go ahead and get him out. And hey, man, remember when that guy was on the stage with Dave Chappelle trying to stab him with a knife, the little fake knife he had, and he was looking like Martin when he got beat up by Tommy the Hitman Hearns? I'm talking about welts, bumps, cuts, scratches. I'm not saying I'm going to beat him up, but I am saying that he could look like that afterward if he's in a space where he shouldn't be, trying to harass women, trying to do things that they don't want him to do. So, again, if you're asking how would it be enforced to keep men out of women's restrooms, there's ways. There are ways to do that. And if you like what you're hearing, I know what to do. Here is, hold on. Do I want to play this? Hold on, let's go. Oh, I'm gonna skip forward a little bit. I'm gonna skip forward and talk about some of this TikTok stuff, social media stuff. A lot of people are hooked on TikTok. They're hooked on TikTok. They can't let it go. And they think that it could be banned coming up when? On Sunday. I think it might be banned on Sunday. And they're trying to figure out ways to keep the party going. Okay, I got to get my electronic heroin fix. So I got to find yet another Chinese app that'll give me that. But what you don't understand is you may be getting yourself into straight up propaganda, giving your data away. You don't know what's going on. Okay, you have no clue what's happening.
I'm not naming.
Now, RP to the headphone users. What I want to do is show you this video about how fake social media is. Your Instagram influencers, TikTok influencers. I'm gonna show you how fake it is. A lot of what you see is not really real, or at least not real in the way you think is real. You see them in a nice big house, filming this content, all this. Let's just talk about that for a second, shall we? This is, I guess, LA.
I'm not naming no names, but I wish you guys knew how easy it is to fake being wealthy for the internet here in LA. A lot of those big money guys and your favorite creators don't live where you think they live. So up the street from here, we have this $100 million mansion that costs $90 an hour to rent out. A lot of creators rent that space once a week, film their content, and make it look like they live there. Rent a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, 99 bucks an hour. It gets crazier because most people in LA have a following. Because to be a model or an actor, there's a lot of casting calls you can't go to unless you have a following. What used to happen is when you got with an agency, they would dump you a bunch of bots. Now most people realize how that damages an account, but the metrics are still there. And since most people don't know how to do that, they end up buying followers, likes, comments, shares, everything. So they can go to casting calls and keep their agency. There's even more because there's agency funded houses out here. Anyone who's part of that agency can go film there and make it look like they live there. And they encourage you to do this because it looks better for the internet. But there's even more because we also have designer rental services. It's between $300 and $800 a month, and you get bags, shoes, sunglasses, clothing, anything you need, all designer. Just wear it, get your pictures, and then send it back. As long as you didn't ruin it, you don't have to pay for it. You can fully construct a lifestyle out here of wealth. And that's part of the reason we're starting to get a bunch of influencer debt resolution companies now. Like, you don't need to feel bad about yourself. Just wear the 10-cent shirt from the thrift store. Nobody cares.
So that just tells you how fake a lot of this stuff is. I mean, a lot of stuff rented, houses are rented, cars rented, everything's rented. And people are watching it, trying to compare their real life that's not just a bunch of rented stuff. They're trying to compare their real life to what someone has presented in front of you that looks real, but is not real. When I saw the young guy that called in talking about there was a UFO in the background of a green screen, I'm like, yo, if it's a green screen, you have to assume that it's fake. And as a matter of fact, if it is on your phone, double check and cross-reference to make sure that it's real, because any kind of video you see, any kind of audio you hear, it might not be real. But especially on a place like TikTok, oh, you liable to see fake and or misleading things all day, every day. All day, every day. Now, look, these girls, and for real, the way that they got stuff set up, I can't tell who's who. This could be the same girl we just saw. I don't know. But anyway, they're trying to work on their Chinese because they're going to move to China to continue to use TikTok.
今天我的朋友过生日，你能去吗？能去，几点？我觉得7点。有哪些人？小妍和她的男朋友。很好，很好。
All right, so there you go. Okay, so now if you guys speak the language, y'all let me know if what they said matches the subtitles that were on the screen. All right. But nah, people are really like that. They really like, hey, we got to go to China. We got to figure it out. We got to save TikTok. Now, this young lady is talking about her career, her job as an influencer may come to an end because of the TikTok ban. All righty. Let's watch.
About to lose my job on TikTok as an influencer. I just wanted to clarify a few things. My house, I pay $2,000 a month for my house. And then I just bought a 2025 Mercedes SUV. So let's just clarify that because you guys were wondering like what I meant by that. So in total, I pay like probably almost $10,000 in bills and food and just my lifestyle. I want to thank everyone who sent me money on Venmo. I was able to get a total of $6,000 already. Like, that's so nice. Like, no one's ever done anything like nice for me before. But yeah, guys, right now I'm really worried because if TikTok's banned, like, what are us influencers really gonna do? Like, we have nothing to go to. So I'm probably gonna sue the government because without TikTok, there is no me, there is no influencer. My bills are too high to work at McDonald's. Like, that's just not gonna ever happen. That's just not a thing.
Okay, now look. I'm gonna say something because I can empathize because I make a living here on the internet and I know things can change it could be taken away. I get it. But here's the first thing. There were rumors of TikTok going away back in 2020, 2021 during Trump. So we've had 4 years of Biden, but Trump was talking about trying to ban TikTok back then. So maybe you should have been thinking this is kind of a vulnerable situation. We're talking about an adversarial nation in China, and there might be some issues going on. I might want to not put all my eggs in one basket. That's part of the reason why I have content on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and everywhere else. And I got my own website. I got all of that just because I know you can't rely on these platforms to serve you. It is what it is. And also, do you have any other skills? Can you go out there in the workforce and do something else? I can do other things rather than this if I had to. Okay, you want a marketing guy? I know that back of my hand. That's easy. That's all day long. I can do a lot of other things rather than this. But if all you have is this and you put all your eggs in one basket, that's a failure on you. Now, you might have to fail, go through some hard times, and hopefully get back out of it and come out better. I've been there myself. Back when I was younger, when I was a graphic designer, before Instagram came out, ironically enough, speaking about social media, kind of changing things, I was doing what they call gang runs. And a gang run, if y'all know about print, you put a bunch of jobs on one sheet of paper and you cut it. I was doing gang runs twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. And I had my little 4Runner. I had my truck filled up with boxes. I might have 10 boxes. I might have the entire gang run sometimes on a 1319, which it's not real big, but it's enough. Maybe even on the big press at Apollo, but that's a different story. Definitely a 13 by 19. I had the whole thing filled up with 4x6, business cards, whatever. So I'm doing very well, like 2010, 2011. I did well from like 2007 to 2012 with that. But here comes Instagram. So no longer does the club guy have to pay me, $250 for a box of flyers, and I make like 50% of that in profit. No longer is that the case when he could just have his cousin design something for him, put it on Instagram, and have the same followers that would find the flyer that I designed on their car or inside of a store in the mall or at a restaurant. There's no longer a need for that when they can use Instagram and just cut me out and save money. So everything collapsed around me. Now, okay, I put all my eggs in the basket of print. Print dies. What do? Now I got to go shift to the website stuff. Now, okay, is it enough? No. Let's do something else now. I was going to be a firefighter back in like 2015. I'm training, doing push-ups, 500 a day, 1,000 a day, doing sit-ups, 500 a day. I'm cut up, looking like, I'm cut up, right? Ready to go. Then I start YouTube and like, okay, YouTube's starting to kick off. Why don't I just do this? So it just kind of naturally happened that way. But what I couldn't do in this venture is what I did last time, which was put all my eggs in one basket. You got to learn sometimes. It is what it is. You got to learn sometimes. All right. Now, Pete Sound says all our computers and phones are made in China. Yeah, everything made in China. No cell phones are made in the USA. No computers made in the USA. No tablets made in the USA. Everything is made over there. Okay, we got cars made here. All right, that's part of the reason why I got 2 Fords. Shout out to Ford. First on race day. You already know what it is. That V8 Coyote, bulletproof. Hey, I like the Toyota. It's the Tundra. It's a nice vehicle. I've had a lot of Toyotas. I've had a Tundra. I had a 4Runner. I had 2 RAV4s, a Camry, and a Corolla. I think I had a lot of Toyotas. I like Toyotas, but the Ford, the F-150 I got, I love it so much. And that Mustang, a beauty to drive. The most fun car to drive ever is that Ford Mustang. I love it. If only it was not as big and heavy as it is, man, that would be amazing. If it had the nimbleness of a Toyota Camry with the power of the Mustang, that might be a little dangerous. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. All right. Now, where we at? Oh, Hollywood actors. So Carrie Underwood is performing at Trump's inauguration, and some people on the interwebs are not too happy about it. All right.
Carrie Underwood is going to perform at Trump's inauguration.
Yes, that's correct. I guess that's the whole video right there. That's that TikTok brain. Your TikTok brain is ridiculous. Like, that's your whole thought?
Carrie Underwood is going to perform at Trump's inauguration.
That's all we got? I mean, come on. Can we get a little bit more or nah? And then this one, just found out Carrie Underwood is performing at Trump's inauguration. Carrie girl, what happened? Among all the other horrible things that Trump is, he is literally a cheater and wrote a song condemning cheaters. Oh, and you wrote a song condemning cheaters. And that's the whole video right there. You know what? You know what the positive thing about TikTok is? You got these girls making videos where they don't talk. That is the that is the silver lining to the whole situation. These girls making videos where they don't talk. That is fantastic. Now, somebody said, is that a boy? Hey, at this point, I don't even know, man. The Gen Z, I can't tell if it's a boy or a girl or a space alien. I don't know what's going on. Your guess is as good as mine. I can't call it at this point. But anyway, I digress. So shout out to Carrie Underwood. All right. Hey, Carrie Underwood's going to do amazing at the inauguration. Shout out to her. Cannot wait. Can't wait. Bart Scott, can't wait. Now, Jaimin Hansu, give us free. Jaimin Hansu is saying that his career he suffered in his Hollywood career because of racism. I've not watched this yet. I want to see it.
I just came off the boat and off the streets where Steven Spielberg, used me for this film, and even though I successfully did that, they just didn't feel like I was an actor for whom we should pay any respect to. So this conceptual idea of diversity and all that, it still has a long way to go. Systemic racism don't change like that anytime soon. I mean, I'm still struggling trying to make a living.
After 30 years in this business?
After, 30 years, let's say maybe the first 10 years was really trying to, sort of acclimate myself to the industry.
And establish yourself.
And establish myself. I've been in this business and making films now over 2 decades, and still, with 2 Oscar nominations, been in many big blockbuster films, and yet I'm still struggling financially.
So you're struggling financially. You had blockbuster films, nominations, all kind of stuff like this. Now, a little bit about Jaimin Hansu. If you guys don't know, he was in quite a few movies, but the one that I know the most is Amistad, about the slave movie. And he had the famous line, "Give us free." Learning English, trying to give us free. That's what I knew him from. Now, he was married to Kimora Lee Simmons, who at one point was also married to Russell Simmons. I think they got 1 kid together, or maybe as a kid for somebody else. I don't know. And he's from Benin Republic. Now, Benin Republic, this is a place that used to be called the Dahomey Kingdom. And Dahomey Kingdom, what did they specialize in? Anybody take a guess? Anybody want to guess what Dahomey Kingdom specialized in as far as their chief export? Slaves. Guys that look just like me. Okay, that's probably my slaver ancestor right there. Now, if you're from Benin Republic, shout out to you. I'm just playing. But he's from Benin Republic, came here, became an actor, and he feels like he's not really getting the respect and the money that he should get. Hey, man, it's Hollywood. A lot of actors who may have been in a movie, may have been on a TV show, may have had some level of success, regardless of what color they are, they might be on the street right now, homeless, smoking crack, or shooting up fentanyl. Okay, we've seen a lot of these actors, actresses crash out. what was it, Jane Fonda or somebody that had died and came back? Like, people go through some things, man. So is it racism, or is it just a matter of, hey, maybe you're just not one, you're not the one that they really want. You're not your career kind of fizzled out. You didn't have the roles that really kind of would bring you to superstardom. Is anybody going to see a film because of Djimon Hounsou? Now, they are going to go to see a guy like Idris Elba, who's from Ghana, by way of UK. So what's the excuse there? Why is a guy from Ghana right next door to Benin, basically? Togo, you got Benin, you got Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Ghana, all West Africa. Why is Idris Elba and the other Idris from Snowfall, why are they doing well, but you're not doing well? Is it racism? I don't know about that. But anyway, I digress. Vibranium, y'all tripping. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. And was Djimon Hounsou in Black Panther? He should have been. But if he wasn't, that tells you a lot right there. Hold on. Let me see. Was he in Black Panther? No. He was in Aquaman. That's interesting. But not Black Panther. He was in Captain Marvel, Aquaman, Shazam. No Black Panther. He was in Black Adam. That was an interesting movie with The Rock. Oh, The Rock, another one. And he like halfy. Kevin Hart, another one. I don't know. I think the racism card gets used a little bit too much, and sometimes people just don't have a good career. What was he in? Was he in Guardians of the Galaxy? All right. I got so much more here, but I don't have much time. Let me see what I want to play next. All right. Let me see now. Oh, let's go to LA right quick. Let's go to Anna. Let's go to Red Pill Anna.
And I know.
Remember when Candace Owens first came out and she was called Red Pill Black? Now we're going to call Anna from Young Turks Red Pill Anna.
And I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, but it's just the truth. It is the truth. And I am just desperate for something to be done about it. I had to evacuate. So I evacuate to where you think it's going to be safe. In the middle of the San Fernando Valley, where I grew up, Reseda, California. Okay. But then there was an encampment fire, a giant encampment fire that threatened the neighborhood I was staying in. There are encampment fires daily, dozens of them daily. Add that to high winds, add that to dry conditions. And I mean, you're just creating the worst possible situation. People are terrified. No one is safe in California or Los Angeles when it comes to this issue. So when it comes to fire prevention, dealing with these encampments appropriately is also part of the equation, but people are afraid to even talk about that. I mean, Jake, am I wrong for bringing this up? The wildlife preserve near me, or reserve, I should say, near me, has been lit on fire dozens of times over the last year alone.
Because the only wildlife that you're preserving are the wild meth smokers, are the wild fentanyl ferrets. Okay, the only animals that are being preserved in the wildlife preserve are the fentanyl ferrets. And the encampments, which ain't nothing but drug dens. All right, now people that want to smoke crack all day, they're not necessarily the best when it comes to fire prevention and safety and whatnot, preventing electrical hazards. They don't care. They will spark a fire right in the middle of the forest and burn thousands upon thousands of acres down because all they wanted to do was get high. And then on top of that, you have the conditions that are already prepared. Like the conditions are there for a fire. You got these houses up in these hills, in these canyon areas. Okay, you got a power line going up there, a wind gust of 100 miles an hour in these canyons. Because the canyons, like I said, it channels the wind. It's like you can hear it. You can hear like a compressor. You can hear the wind. The wind's high, knocks power lines down, power lines spark. Now we got a fire. All right, so that's part of California living. It's beautiful up in the hills, but it's also dangerous up there, especially when you don't do things to prevent the fires from breaking out. That's all. That is all. Let's keep on moving here. Now, this is how Venice, what's this, Venice Beach? Yeah, Venice Beach. Looks pretty nice, right? Looks pretty nice. You know, but it's California at the end of the day. I can find this type of vibe, in my opinion, in Virginia Beach. Now, of course, it ain't California. We only got palm trees, all that kind of stuff like that. But I don't need to go over there to experience this. I'd rather go to Europe, go to Greece or somewhere, rather than deal with this. And I know they got their own issues with migrants in Europe, but nothing like what we got going on in California. You got the migrants and the criminals who like to smoke crack who live there. All right, now this is Jillian Michaels talking about Gavin. And shout out to Amala Ekpanopi. Shout out to Piers Morgan. Shout out to the... Let's watch.
Regardless of Republican or Democrat, Newsom sucks. He is the worst, and he has been the worst forever, since 2018, when he got the job in 2019, and how he's run the state since then. He sucks.
That is exactly how I feel. Hey, Jillian, we're right on the same page. We're right on the same page. California has beautiful people, nice people, hardworking people. They also have Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, Karen Bass, and all the rest of them. The now ousted George Gascon, the former DA of Los Angeles. You have these bad Adam Schiff. You have these bad people in power. And they make the state ridiculous to live in. Now, here's some of the damage. I'm going to turn that down. You can see it's just brown, brown, brown. That's all fire damage. All these structures, all these homes burnt up. Brown, brown, brown. Block after block after street after street after section, neighborhood, community. Brown, brown, brown. All burnt up. And the water's right there. But what are you going to do? You can't really pump the water in there because it's obviously salt water from the ocean. And it's hard for you to scoop it up and like it's hard for you to use one of these planes that can scoop the water from the ocean and put it on the fire because you got these high winds. So now you're dealing with air traffic issue. You can see the difference right here, how everything had color and it was actually structures that were up. And at the bottom, you can see how they're all just burnt, charred up. Charred up. People's whole lives, their childhood, everything gone. Everything. All because why? All because they couldn't do preventative maintenance on the actual forest in the area to prevent that from going on. All right. And you can see again how the fire looked. That's crazy. And the thing is, when some winds really hit just right and the conditions are just right, you can't stop this fire. But you know what? You could have a fighting chance if you had water. If you had water in the reservoir where it's supposed to be, you might have a fighting chance. A lot of arsonists, yes, that's correct. Including this guy right here with the whole blowtorch. The guy, by the way, wound up being an illegal alien. So you got neighbors confronting the guy because he was setting fires with a blowtorch in his hand. He's here illegally from Mexico. And he was on probation at the time. Now, check this out. The neighbors confront him because they spotted him trying to set fires around the neighborhood with a blowtorch. They confront him, and then they apprehend him until the police get there. When the police get there, he gets arrested, but only for a probation violation. Okay, now, why not arson? I'm not saying he did it. But why wouldn't that be the arrest? Because again, when you're arrested, you're suspected of a crime until you are proven to have committed it. Now, if they say it's not enough there to say that he is suspected of arson until an investigation, then what's the crime you actually got him for? If he had probation and he violated that and he's on a probation, like what did he actually do to violate probation? You don't know? How about trying to set fire with a blowtorch during a wildfire in Southern California? How about that? Nah? Okay. You know, the reason why they don't want to say that he's an arson suspect because it would fit our narrative, which is a true narrative of illegal aliens causing crime. Now, am I going to sit here and say that the entire wildfire kerfuffle was started by illegal aliens? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that there's a problem in this country with illegal alien crime, not just Southern California or California in general, but all over the country. We saw it in Aurora, Colorado. We saw it in Springfield, Ohio, New York, Chicago, Illinois. The list goes on. All over the place. We have Mike Lake and Raleigh, RIP to her, in Georgia. We see it all over the place. It's been proven time and time again. So they don't want to really have that be a political thing, which is what it is. So they say, oh, no, it's a probation violation. Okay, all right. Tell us anything. Tell us anything. Now, we got more criminal aliens. All right. Looters dressing up as firemen during the wildfire.
When I was out there in the Malibu area, I saw a gentleman that looked like a firefighter. And I asked him if he was okay because he was sitting down. I didn't realize we had him in handcuffs. We were turning him over to LAPD because he was dressed like a fireman and he was not. He just got caught burglarizing a home.
Now, how much you want to bet that guy might have been illegal or had a long rap sheet or something like that? It's always the same thing. They're not in the country legally and or they got a long rap sheet. Violent crimes, not just ticky-tack little things that don't make a difference. It's always like that. Every single time. Oh, I got one more. I got to show Jen Psaki, Copper Top, Duracell. I got to show her. I got to show her trying to somehow blame Trump and Elon for what's going on. Hey, if you guys watch television, I don't see how you do it. TV in general is bad, especially when you get people like this to come on here and talk at you, giving you straight up Democratic Party, Uniparty propaganda. This right here is our equivalent of the Chinese Communist Party. That's what the deep state is. The Uniparty is like CCP, basically.
And with these fires still burning, we are facing important questions about how to mitigate and prevent disasters like this in the future. Fact is, leaders will need to confront a very complicated and challenging reality moving forward. But right now, that is not exactly what is happening. Instead, Donald Trump and his allies are injecting half-truths, misinformation, and flat-out lies in some cases in order to score a version of political points, I suppose. We saw something similar play out just this past October in the aftermath of Hurricanes Helene and Milton, when Trump repeatedly lied about FEMA spending disaster relief funds on migrants, which didn't happen. Also baselessly claiming that the Biden administration was absent and incompetent in delivering aid, despite what elected officials of both parties on the ground said.
I mean, doesn't it get tiring, though? Like Jen Psaki, doesn't it get tiring? I mean, you don't care. You're getting your money, so it don't matter. You just working, doing your thing, trying to contribute to the betterment of our nation from your point of view, which is nothing but spreading misinformation and lies, gaslighting people, making them scared of everything, making them afraid of their shadow. If they watch MS-13 DNC, they will be afraid of their shadow. And they're going to think that everything in this world is the orange man's fault. All right, hey, I woke up in the morning and my back was hurting. It must be Trump and Elon Musk's fault. Some kind of way. I'm going to find a way to blame Donald Trump, as they always say his full name. I'm going to find a way to blame Donald Trump for my backache. That's what you do when you keep putting out this kind of information.
Those lies were then spread and amplified by the richest man in the world on the social media site that he owns. So I guess none of us should have been shocked this week when Elon Musk posted that the Los Angeles Fire Department prioritized DEI over saving lives and homes. That's an exact quote. That appeared to be a disgusting dig at the city's fire chief, Kristen Crowley, who has served in the department for decades, rising through the ranks to become the first female and LGBTQ fire chief in LA's.
Who cares? Who cares? Listen, I don't care if you're a bulldagger. That's great for you. Fantastic. Hopefully you enjoy your bulldagger behavior. But does it matter when you're talking about trying to fight a fire? How about let's just put the fire out? How about that? How about that? That's all that matters. If you can do that, great. If you can't, then that's not so great. Now, is it? Your identity, first bulldagger in office, does not matter at all. I promise. Listen, Jen Psaki, hear me very well. I promise her status as the city's top bulldagger makes no sense.
History. Musk also amplified a post this week from conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Yes, that guy. He's still around. Alex Jones wrote that Los Angeles fires are part of a larger globalist plot to wage economic warfare and deindustrialize the United States before triggering total collapse.
Now, I'll pause it right there because of time. But, I mean, people could say that that's outlandish and it's ridiculous to think that. But the older I get, the more I'm like, you know what? That's not really that far off. Because we've seen this before. It's not the first time it's happened where there's been intentional destruction. I mean, like we talk about Rome a lot. Well, I don't talk about it on this channel, but people talk about Rome a lot because there's a lot of parallels. I mean, didn't that happen? Didn't Nero do that? Or they say he did it? Either way it goes, this has happened before. This ain't the first time where land has been intentionally cleared out to make way for more desirable people. There was a rumor about New Orleans. They said that during Katrina, they blew the levees up and the levees were protecting a lot of these lower ninth ward, a lot of these black areas and or poor areas. So they just go ahead and flood them out. And then when the people, when they leave and go to Houston or Dallas or wherever they go, they're going to rebuild that place better than it was before with new people. That's how it goes. And it's always like that. Even when they tear down things, okay, like in Virginia, they had this project called Outer Barber, right? When they tore down Outer Barber, first of all, they gave them vouchers to come to other neighborhoods. My neighborhood was pretty quiet. There may be a shooting occasionally, right? It's a black neighborhood, apartments. It may be a shooting occasionally, but nothing really major. Get on the ground, you be all right. When Outer Barber came, Animal House, overnight. And I said it before on this channel where Mom had bought a house Chesapeake to leave out of there. We had black flight in our neighborhood. If you could leave, these miscreants, these ne'er-do-wells, these criminals that came from that project to our neighborhood, everybody left that could leave. So Mom buys a house that she still owns today outright. But there was a delay in the closing. So we had like another month to stay there. Right before we're supposed to leave in the new move date, right before we're supposed to leave, there's a knock on the door. And I'm thinking I'm dreaming. But we're in a small apartment, so I hear my mom move. I'm like, okay, if she's moving, she's going to go to the door. So I got to go to the door too because it could be one of these crackheads out there trying to do something crazy. We go to the door as the police. They open the door up wide, and then they show my mom's car, which is right in front of the house in the parking space. There was another car embedded in the back of it. Some of them crackheads stole a car, crashed it into my mom's car, totaled it, and just left. Like it wasn't nothing going on. All right. That kind of behavior was happening when they unleashed them upon us. And we had to get up out of there. We had to leave. I don't even know where I was going with that story, but I had to mention it. I think the main thing is the people that came from there were really bad people. Really bad. And black, white, everybody's black. We didn't want them in our particular neck of the woods. All right. Oh yeah, had to make sure that Mom was straight because it was it was crazy. Shootings every night, people acting crackheads. Jungle, Animal House. All right. Oh, and that's something else. I was talking about like the undesirables. So when they tore down Outer Barber, what happened was they built up some new houses right there. And the plan was, okay, if you lived in Outer Barber before, you'd be able to come back and get you a nice house, move your family in there, you get a reduced rate. But really, the people that left Outer Barber, it's a project. You might be paying like $50 a month for your rent. These new houses at the time, $175,000, $200,000, they couldn't afford that. So what it really did was bring in better people to that area rather than the project people who they were trying to cleanse. You see, that same thing can happen in parts of the world and also in California. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out. tremendously. All right, we got to get to some calls, super chats, all that good stuff. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let me go ahead and get super chats, and then we get to the calls. Thank you to Dixie LaFour for the good job thumbs up emoji. Thank you to Abubakar Al-Puff Daddy, who says, you see white women senators question Hegseth? Sure did. Thank you to Howie Brown for the donation. Shout out to Abubakar Al-Puff Daddy, who says, sisters be mayors of Atlanta, Philly, New Orleans, Louisiana, Los Angeles, Chicago, St. Louis, Baltimore, Washington. Why they're so corrupt, traveling the world, can't run cities? Because they shouldn't have been there to begin with. These people, they win popularity contests, they win DEI contests, and you got a collaborative effort. So you got the black folks that want to vote for them because they're black and a Democrat and a woman. If there were a black woman Republican, then they'd be Candace Owens, and then they would hate them. You got to have all three: black, female, Democrat. Got to have all three. If you only got one, it ain't going to work. So they get voted for that way by the black population, which is minuscule in Los Angeles. It's like 5% or a little bit more. It's not that much. But a lot of your liberals that stay out there, yeah, I'm going to vote for a woman of color. I love her. That's how they win. That's how they succeed. Ain't there many black folks in LA? The Hispanics are the majority, followed by the whites, then maybe the Asians, then maybe the blacks. Anyway, shout out to Apple again, who says, conclusion, no Democrat women in power ever. Bad. Apple, well, you know what? That might be a good idea. No Democrat women, no Democrats, but especially no Democratic women. Apple says, ABL, I thought your putty voice was the funniest thing ever, but your commentary on the lunch lady LAFD was the best. Comedy gold, so unqualified. Right on. Shout out to Apple again, who says, Biden's biggest accomplishment, not dying on the job. Hey, you know what? That's a really good point. And you know what? His legacy, hey, I got a picture right here that I was going to show later. But look, that's legacy right there. Okay. Why am I always seeing the bottom of your feet, though, Joe? I'm seeing the bottom of your feet, up under your trousers, all that kind of stuff. I don't want to see all that. But that is his legacy right there on the beach in Delaware. What's that, Rehoboth Beach? That is Joe Biden's legacy. All right. Oh, and I got another picture to show you guys. One more picture. Then I keep on going with the super chats and the calls. So look. So here is Trump's inauguration mugshot. All right. Now he's probably trying to recreate. Well, not mugshot. This is the inauguration portrait on the right. And the mugshot from Georgia. The whole Fani Willis situation on the left. So look. Fani, we appreciate you for giving us material to use forever. You want to try to lock the president up, give him a mugshot? Okay. Not only were we going to put that on T-shirts, we're going to recreate that for the inauguration. So take that. Hey, you thought he was going to get locked up, that he wasn't going to win, that he couldn't succeed? All right. Well, boom. There you have it. Take that. Anyway, let's keep on moving here. What else do I have? Shout out to Apple, who says, Ivan, do you want the USA to succeed under Trump? Apple says, ni hao to ABL's Red China economy trolls, Trump for VR or forever. Apple says 6 days until J6er is liberated. God bless them all. They get a Carlos Gaspar for the cup of joy emoji. Appreciate you for that. They get a Kai's Posthumous, who says, ABL, you think DeSantis could be a better choice? A better choice for, I'm not really sure. What's that? Attorney General? I'm not sure. Thank you to Stephen Lynch, who says, folks want to see their name, period. Kai's Posthumous says, why they allow Crockett to be all hood in there? Because she's an actress. That's why. And a lot of them are actresses and actors. A lot of these actors that have playing politicians would look bad in a Tubi movie. Okay, if you got a Nollywood movie, Bollywood movie, Tubi movie, none of these actors in DC would do a good job on there. Kaya says, why is Karen Bass and Gruesome New Scum always smiling? Because they don't care. They get a lot there who says, what's your favorite thing in the menu of Waffle House? And what is your perfect time to go to Waffle House? I got to give it up for the coffee. Well, I'm not really a Waffle House kind of guy at all. But if I had to go there, like, hey, I'm desperate. I'm traveling. It's hungry. I've been on the plane for 15 hours or whatever the case may be. Belgian waffles. And let me get some kind of protein. If you got chicken sausage, something like this, I'd rather not have the pork. But definitely Belgian waffles all day long. I eat Belgian waffles anywhere. Give me one of them. Give me one of those irons. You could pour the batter in. Oh man, that's that big back. Hey, if you could just give me endless waffle batter and an iron to make them, and maple syrup, 100% maple syrup, straight from Canada. Hey, straight from our next state. Some maple syrup from the great state of Canada in the great white north. I would gain 20 pounds in one day off rip. Anyway, let's get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. The number is always in the description. There's also an email. There you go right there, 434-658-1220, right there in the ticker below me. There's also an email in the description to be right here in the bottom left-hand corner on the screen through Skype. If Skype doesn't work right, don't blame me, blame the white man, because it ain't my fault. Y'all know how I do. But yeah, shout out to maple syrup. I can't do nothing with the high fructose corn syrup. Let me get my sound together. There we go. Perfect. Let's go. 781. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony BL. How you doing? It's Peter from Boston.
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hey, not much. I just wanted to vent about the TikTok stuff. Actually, I try not to ever say that word because I really hate the app so much and everything that it does to humanity. But that girl that was complaining, I don't know if anyone else caught this, but she's complaining about, I got my $2,000 rent, I got my $1,000, and then at one point she says, my lifestyle, I don't know how I'm going to afford it. Like, in other words, what she means is she spends a ton of money on stupid stuff. My lifestyle. Like, what is she, like 20 years old? What lifestyle? Like, it blows my mind that this person thinks she's entitled to make and receive money from strangers, that people are dumb enough to give her money in the first place for doing nothing. She wakes up and records herself putting on makeup, makes a couple bucks, goes to the bathroom, cleans her hair. It's just like such a stupid, insane thing that exists, and they call them influencers. Like, what do you influence? You're influencing idiots. Like, oh my goodness, it's just insane. Like, you talk to younger people and you ask them what they want to do. I want to be an influencer when I grow up. Like, oh, so you want to just have people give you money for existing? Like, you don't want to contribute to society? I'm going to be happy if TikTok is gone forever. I don't know what you feel about it, but
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't really be sad if TikTok were to be gone, because there's been so many ridiculous trends and the effects on people. People can't pay attention. You talk to them for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
They're not listening to you at all.
Yeah, it's not good, and it's in the hands of a lot of younger people, like high school kids, middle school kids. It's a whole thing. It's like a pandemic, really. And then TikTok became famous, and then all of a sudden YouTube does the YouTube Shorts now, and it's the same disease. It's the same thing. It's just training people to not be able to sit down and absorb something for an extended period of time, which is really bad. It's destroying society. It's just not good. It's one of many things that's just not good. And I hope that homegirl on that video can figure out a way to make some money, and maybe she said, what am I going to do? It's like, I don't know, like, get a job that contributes to society. I mean, they need firefighters in LA, but try that. Get it, they make good money doing that, maybe. I don't know, shit. I don't know. It's just frustrating. I can't wait to see what happens. We got a good couple years coming up ahead of us, and I'm looking forward to watching you and doing all your stuff. I appreciate it. And wait, before I go, though, you were saying I can sympathize with her a little bit because you make your money on social media or whatever, but what you do is different. You are an independent journalist, right? You are helping make mainstream media go out of business because you are doing what they should be doing. You see stuff, you research it, you report it with your expertise and your knowledge and your experience. You are an independent journalist. You're not just some guy on social media. So don't get that. Like, that's different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Nah, I think you're right about that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I wouldn't put yourself anywhere near the same category as those people. It's a whole different thing. But anyway, yeah, great show tonight, man. And I'm looking forward to hearing what else is coming down the pipeline.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, peace, man.
All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. All right, Les, what's happening?
Hey, ABL, how are you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain.
Happy Wednesday.
Right on.
I just wanted to go ahead and comment on the relief that the Biden administration is sending to the Californians.
Yeah.
I think that's sad. I mean, but what else was to be expected? There was nothing different that was going to come out of it. I think we all know, the Patriots know where their true loyalty lies, right? With the Biden administration is the simple fact that when it comes down to the Americans, it's always America last, right? But then yet again, and you made a great point when you mentioned it, when we had all these illegals coming and they were getting thousands of dollars, debit cards, free housing, food, all that stuff. And then we had also what was that other thing? Oh, and then all those billions to Ukraine and other countries.
That's right. It's like, hey, you know what? We kind of like show Americans where our priorities lie. And it's not Americans, unfortunately.
Correct. So I was like, you know what? I mean, not that you can excuse it, right? And we shouldn't turn a blind eye to it. It just goes to further show us the left's agenda of America last, right? So it's kind of like at this point, we're 5 days away. I cannot wait. I'm sure everyone else is on that same page where we cannot wait for Trump coming back into the White House. And how does the saying go? Out with the old,
in with the new.
Let's go, right? And then I wanted just to make a quick comment about these influencers on TikTok. You know what, ABL? I've heard some crazy stories about these so-called influencers or content creators on these platforms, on these social media platforms. There was actually a very crazy, one of the craziest stories that I did hear. There's this like very young TikTok influencer by the name of Marlena Valles. And she does a lot of like the get ready with me, come shopping, like my shopping hauls and all that stuff, right? So she ends up getting caught. And this is not her first offense. It's about her third offense, shoplifting from Target. And in a way of, she was actually scanning fake barcodes so that the price on the items would be cheaper. And the sad part about it, ABL, the third time she got caught up, she was doing it with her kids and her husband.
Terrible, terrible, terrible.
It's horrible. And it's like, I mean, it's the truth of what they say. Don't what we've heard, right? Don't believe everything you see on TV. Well, don't believe everything you see on the internet, because a lot of these influencers, and right on that you actually showed that video of that one lady who was talking about how they have, what is it, like this whole network to build your account and actually make it seem like you have money and that, you know, you're a real like content creator, like out there in California. I thought that was insane. I could believe the whole house thing where it's like, yeah, you could rent the same house, because it kind of reminds me like Airbnb, right? Or like the cars, right? Lamborghinis and whatnot, because it reminds me of like Turo, or is that called, right? That app Turo?
Yep.
Yeah, so kind of like, okay, so it's kind of similar. There's similar other companies. It's like, okay, I mean, I've seen it, I've heard it, I could believe that. But everything else, like, what was it, that one monthly thing where you could pay like $380 and you get all these designer name products, and you could just take a picture of it and then you send it back. It's like, It's mind-blowing. But you want to know something, ABL? A lot of the so-called content creators or influencers are women, and this goes to show you in reality why women are such a big problem and why we are the number one consumers of the highest debt here in this country, because women are more in debt than men. So I just think it's insane. But yeah, I just want to go ahead and share my own thoughts on that. And to be honest with you, it's like what you said, you know, the internet, social media, it's like a double-edged sword, right? You have its good and its bad. You could always use it for good or you could use it for bad. But in regards to TikTok, I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing it gone for a bit, you know. Hopefully, like those two girls that you were showing as well, how they were like, oh, we're learning Chinese because we're trying to move. Who knows, ABL, maybe this is going to be the turning point for America to actually educate themselves and do something actually really more productive with their life and their time.
That's a good point.
All righty, well, that's all I wanted to say. You have yourself a wonderful night. And God bless you. God bless the chat. And the little patriots want to say good night.
Good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate y'all as always.
Take care, Bia. Bye.
All right. Shout out to Les. Shout out to the youngest. I appreciate you for calling all the time. You guys are fantastic. You guys are the best. You already know it. All right. Let's go to 501. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Cybertoxin.
All righty. What's going on?
Good evening, Mr. Logan. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well, man. Can't complain.
All right. Well, I wanted to talk to you about the Russell Brand clip that you shared. Can you hear me well?
I heard you well.
All right, this is specifically about one statement where he suggested that we need to be open to new interpretations and understanding of Scripture.
Okay.
This is not specifically for the Christian audience, but kind of geared toward what they already believe. But it'd be good for anybody and everybody to hear. I've got a lot of notes written down here that I wanted to share so as not to use up too much of your time. You okay with a semi-Bible study thing tonight?
Go for it.
It'd be about 4 or 5 minutes. So what he said reminds me of a situation we find in the Bible in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, where the serpent essentially did the exact same thing when he tempted Eve, or when it tempted Eve. He asked her, "Hath God said, you shall not eat of every tree?" And she answered something like, "Well, he said we can eat of everything but the tree that's in the middle of the garden. That one, he said, we can't eat of it, neither shall we touch it lest we die." And the serpent replied and said, "Ye shall not surely die. For God knows that in the day ye eat, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil." Adam was there with her, which is in verse 6. This temptation that he gave them was suggesting that they could be as gods by knowing good and evil. But that didn't mean they'd have the ability to discern between the two. And the way he tricked her was into thinking that God's word and will were subjective. He essentially gave her a new interpretation or understanding of what God meant by what he said. In 1 John chapter 4, it's written, "Believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. And you'll know the Spirit of God by this, that every spirit that confesseth Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God, and is the spirit of Antichrist." Now, have you ever heard of Docetism?
No.
It comes from the Greek word dokein, meaning to seem. And it's a belief that Jesus Christ was only an apparition or a spirit and only seemed to be flesh or human. If that were the case, it would mean that he only seemed to suffer, which would make his sacrifice of suffering death on the cross meaningless. So Docetism is a key belief of a theosophical sect known as Gnostics. By calling themselves Gnostic, they suggest they have knowledge or that they are the ones who know. I once had a man who calls himself Gnostic tell me that it meant the truth, and he slithered away when I confronted him with the etymology of the word. I referred to them as theosophical because they posited themselves as having the knowledge and wisdom of God, even though they deny God's true power and claim that the Creator was actually evil. And there are warnings about this in Romans chapter 1, 2 Timothy chapter 3, 1 John chapter 4, and also the Epistle of Jude. And that's just to name a few. Now, I don't know if Russell Brand believes all of these things, but I've heard him and quite a few other people online with great influence spouting some of these twisted theosophical beliefs. Charles Manson had some of these beliefs, believe it or not, and a specific name for this deity called Abraxas. Carl Jung wrote about Gnostics, about what they called the monad. He compared it with Mercurius, saying it was the union of opposites. Now, there's another idol or false god deity depicted by Eliphas Levi that's more widely known, which also symbolizes the union of opposites, a male and female, human and animal, life and death, day and night.
My man, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I gotta have you kind of like finalize it because we got more calls on the line. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, if this bores you, I can tell somebody else. It's fine.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
I've only got a few minutes. Yeah, no problem.
All right. I mean, it wasn't even about no being bored. It's about, well, you can't just be on the line for as long as you want. That's all. But shout out to you for the call, man. I appreciate it. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's go. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 860, hello. All right, maybe it's my stuff messing up. Let me try to reboot Skype right quick. Let me try to, answer it. Yeah, Skype messing up. Let me reboot right quick. All right. And shout out to you guys for being here. I really appreciate y'all. Let me just reboot Skype because, Skype does whatever it wants to do. Maybe Skype was like, you know what? After that one, I'm going to just take a little break. Let's see if it's going to work now. All righty. Let's get this back online. Again, a number to call, 434-658-1220. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, it might be a little bit too advanced for me. I kind of understood what he was saying, but not really. Y'all let me know what you think. All right, there we go. There we go. 860, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, my brother from another mother. It's F&A Ranger Xbox. How you doing tonight?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Oh, I just want to give a shout out to the callers because I always forget to. Great calls tonight, especially the guy that was talking about content creators. You are cut above, my brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, let's hear it. No problem. You eat into your caller time, so I want to hurry up. You know what I mean? I don't want to take any more time than I have. First of all, the latest iPhone takes a whopping $10 to manufacture from start to finish. That's why they make them in China.
There you go.
Fannie's Charity is being sued. Just thought I'd throw that out there. I don't know the details. I rely on you to find out. Now, here's something else that you don't know. Did you know how all the Hollywood stars really aren't that upset about their mansions being destroyed?
Oh, they're not?
I mean, they're not really crying about it.
I mean,
they get government welfare, homeowners insurance, so discounts, including Cher with her $45 million mansion, all the top stars. So now you know why they scream, government. I love the government. Listen to what the government says, because they're paying me. So you might want to look at the government subsidized insurance for the elite rich in Hollywood. And about the Hollywood fires, remember when they started this about the illegals coming in? I said, you watch what happens. There's going to be attacks, it's going to be fires, murders, everything. And they started those fires on purpose so they could loot the homes. Can't make it up.
Well,
can't make it up. And the Delta River smelt that they're talking about, they haven't found those fish in 10 years. Gavin Newsom tore down 4 decks because apparently fish everywhere else know how to use a fish ladder. And the first time I said the words fish ladder here in Connecticut, I'm getting a deer in the headlights look from people like I'm making stuff up. Fish can't climb a ladder. They can climb a fish ladder. They can't climb a construction ladder. But, darn, there was something else that was really important I wanted to get out to you, and I had just lost it, my brother. And you know what? I've said enough. Love the show. Oh, I know what it was. If I had Elon Musk money, you know what I'd do?
What's that?
I would put 10 transgender men or transgender women on the payroll, and their job would be to follow each legislator that's female around. And every time she went into the bathroom, they would all pile in. I don't care if it's a single only occupancy. We're transgender. We have a right to be in here. And I would pay them $500 an hour to do that and have people filming and have them whip out their cell phones and everything. That's what I would do. That's the best way to cure a liberal. Give them exactly what they want. And I'll leave you with that. God bless America. God bless you, ABL. God bless Donald Trump. Let's keep him safe. Shout out to you Democrats. You better watch yourself because America's had enough. And the truth is going to come out. When it does, I suggest moving to a country that doesn't have extradition laws. Y'all take care. God bless America. Good night. Love you, buddy.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All righty. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description if you want to get on through Skype in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all for being here. As I always say, you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. All right. So let's make sure that Skype wants to work. Skype is weird. Let's see if it's going to work or not. All right. Hopefully it does. All right. Let me read some of the. All right. There we go. There we go. Skype wants to work now. 859, your line speaker 2.
Hey, how's it going, ABL? How's it going? You Lucifer and Libertarian friend. I saw that story, and you were talking about TikTok and stuff like that. I think it's kind of funny some of these TikTokers are freaking out over the most minute things by, working class people who work hard for a living, get the struggle while they preach about us about, we need our payments for our sports car that I just bought.
Right,
Silly.
yeah.
It seems kind of funny that they don't realize that we have a market out there. There's other platforms that can do shorts like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. So I just think it's silly that they're freaking out about it.
Of course.
And then why would you put an app, download it on your phone that's controlled by a dictatorship that literally harms and hurts people for their opinion of all things?
Because people don't know anything. They don't know anything at all. So all they see, okay, it's a Chinese app. I like TikTok. I'm going to go over there. They don't read terms and conditions. They don't know what they're signing up for. They just don't know anything.
That's true. They're just base everything and their view on a form of ignorance and stuff like that. And, we have American markets that already does the shorts already. So we already have everything set in the first place. And thank you very much for taking my phone call, ABL, and say hi to the chat. What's up, guys? And then also, I will say, I was going to ask for your opinion before I hang up. It's always the free market that fixed the problem compared to the state. And the reason why I say this is they're trying to legalize marijuana in the state of Kentucky, but the FDA and I think it was ATF wants to put restrictions on gun rights at the same time. But it seems kind of funny, like, I know people who are on parole who got in trouble for, if they get any kind of testing of any kind of hit of any kind of, might as well say this regular nicotine, they get thrown in behind bars. But yet you can walk to the corner store and get yourself some CBD vape that is legal and it's only a certain amount of milligrams, and it sells it to you. It feels like that when government comes and involves with any kind of form of government or any kind of freedoms, they ruin everything. I was going to ask you a question. Do you really think somebody has a right to own a firearm, but at the exact same time, cannabis? Just want to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you very much for taking my phone call, ABL. Much love to you, bro.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
Much love to you, bro. See ya.
Now, I'm not going to link guns to weed. I'm not going to do that. I mean, the issue with weed, the only thing I got with weed is the space that it exists in right now, the taboo space, I think is where it should remain. It shouldn't be just you legalize all this super high strain stuff because you're going to open the door to other things, in my humble opinion. But as far as owning your weapon, that's the Second Amendment right. But where's the right that says you got the right to own weed or right to grow weed? Like, where's that at? I don't know. I'm not really in favor. If you could just have like the old school pawpaw weed, I think that's what they pretty much sell at the CBD stores is the old school pawpaw weed. That is not really a problem. If you just kept it right there, it wouldn't be an issue. But they want to keep going higher and higher, and they want to have all these epic strains and all kind of synthetic and everything else. It's just now we're getting into dope fiend territory. That's the issue. That's the problem. And that's when it gets into other issues. So hopefully that answers your question. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, BL, it's Alien Spaceship.
All right, man. What's going on?
All right. Shout out to you in chat. I enjoy all the callers. And shout out to Cyber. I know him from another chat.
Right on.
All right. So basically, we have some interesting news going on, and I'm glad that your coverage with the wildfires, certainly an independent journalist, and because that's what I was hearing about from the streamers over there in California, and I'm glad to see it. Oh, of course, I believed it. But I'm glad to see it, unfold. And yeah, I think it's really disgraceful setting fires while there's a fire going on.
Yeah, that's really disgraceful. Anybody who does something like that should get locked up.
Yeah, also I was seeing something that at the Globe, they're mocking God, and then afterwards the fire happened.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what happens, huh?
Yeah. And I was watching this other video about some conspiracy theories from the trial channel I watch, and I didn't look at the whole video, so I'll get back to you on this, but allegedly, this may have been a joke, but allegedly Diddy had something to do with it. I don't know, it may have been a joke or something, but I have to go watch that video.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, hey, who knows? Anything is possible nowadays.
I agree. Yeah, and also, I think that, the left doesn't really know anything about history. I'm not talking about all the leftists, but the really wacky ones that we're seeing. They don't really know about history, and saying that it's a Christian jihad, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And also, regarding the TikTok ban, yeah, I think that people should diversify people that are doing those kind of things on TikTok. They shouldn't have all their eggs in one basket, and they should try to diversify in what you said. They should learn different skills, especially if something is on thin ice like the TikTok app.
Yeah, definitely. And that should have been the message back in 2021 when Trump was talking about potentially banning TikTok. So it's been a warning out there for quite a while, and people just kind of kicked the can down the road. And now we're here, and it didn't do any preparation. That's kind of on them.
Right. And also, I do wonder how the ban is going to completely go. And I never got the app because of not that I'm against things from China, because everything comes from China, but I wasn't really too sure about it. I was just kind of wait to see what happens. And then they're talking about the ban and stuff. I said, oh, wow. And yeah, so a lot of people are on there, and I guess there are people like you and Trump and other like-minded people that can contribute to the platform. I will say that there is a lot of youngsters that, although I'm young myself, that are very cringe.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Like they're showing the one in China. It shows people working hard and doing the right thing. But over there, over here, it just shows all like the bad stuff.
Right. Because that's the whole thing. We allow a lot of that stuff that they don't allow.
Right. And also, I think that we were talking about the lady that she was trying to act like the hood or whatever, and she was just using that as a character. It's not how she really acts, like calling the other person a child. It just feels real cliche.
Yeah, I mean that whole thing was just a mess. It's like, man, we got to get back to just trying to govern and doing things right. All that extra stuff is just kind of a sad show.
Right. And before I'll make a remark about Hurricane Katrina, I was 7. And yeah, it did flood the black areas very bad. Like my family, we chose to stay in the neighborhood where my grandpa grew up from the 50s. And it did become a predominantly black area. But now before Katrina, it was kind of like both white and black people. And so my family didn't really mind them. But basically what happened was it flooded those areas. And also in some of the white areas, it flooded too. And then the other side, what's called Metairie, the levees didn't break over there, but there was some mild flooding. So now many parts of the entire city flooded.
Right.
And I do think it's interesting to look at the different conspiracy theories. And like, for instance, a thing in California, it's very possible that there may be, many conspiracies, and there could be foul play, a combination of nature and humans causing it to happen for some, buying back the land or something, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I mean, anything like that is possible. But as far as wildfires in that area, they always happen. It's just, it's predictable. They know what's going to happen. They just didn't do anything to prevent it.
Yep. And yeah, the fish, they were trying to save the fish and they didn't do it. And also, if they had a better water supply, I think it would have been better.
Yeah, if they had any water in the reservoir, maybe they would have had a fighting chance.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, ABL, that's all I have to say for this call. Thank you for taking my call.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, man. Got to have water in the reservoir. Got to have water in the tank. If you don't have no water, then it's like, what are we doing? You got to have water in the tank to be able to try to fight the fire. But I don't know. It just do things that just don't make any sense. It's the silliest things they do. But that's pretty much where we are right now. Okay, I think that might be a wrap for the calls. It might be a wrap for the call. Shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. I'll be back live again on, what's the day? Today, Wednesday, right? I'll be back live again on Saturday. Same bat time, same bat place. And of course, I'm here every day putting out pre-recorded content. I have the Rumble channel. You guys, please follow me on Rumble. Let me show you the Rumble right quick. I got some time. Let me show you Rumble. And where are we at right now as far as subscribers? We're at 877 on Rumble. Still trying to get that first 1,000. So shout out to you guys who have followed me on Rumble so far. I really, really, really appreciate you. Let me just go ahead and zoom in right quick. I got all these videos on here. So if you enjoy Rumble better than YouTube, or you just want to find me on a different place, alternative platform, Rumble is here for you guys. You're trying to get to 1,000 followers. You can follow me right here, Anthony Brian Logan. You see I'm verified right there. See? Verified on Rumble. Y'all check me out. Also, you're listening to or watching an audio streaming podcast as well. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm everywhere. TikTok, but you know where I'm not. I'm not on Red Note. Hey, they called the app Red Note. The app is called Zhonghao Shu, or Zhonghao Shu. This literally translates into Little Red Book, as in Mao Zedong's Little Red Book, the handbook to communism. So they're literally telling you this is going to be Chinese Communist Party propaganda on this app. That's literally what it is. And they're telling you up front. And isn't that part of what they do? Like evil people, they can say they didn't lie to you because they put it right in front of your face. They put their name, Zhang Haishu, right there in front of your face. Mao Zedong's Little Red Book. Red, communism, kami, the colors of the flag, red. You already know what it is. So if you decide to download that, go ahead. That's your business. You can do that, but you know what you're getting. If you don't mind propaganda from the Chinese Communist Party, then go ahead and get that. If you don't mind, that's fine. But that's where I'm not going to be on some Chinese app. And I don't want to be on TikTok, to be totally honest. Only reason why I'm on TikTok is to combat some of the brain dead stuff that's on there. TikTok, if you guys use that app, you guys are smart. I'm not referring to you. But you know full well, if you scroll on TikTok for more than 5 seconds, you're going to find the silliest. I'm talking about mouth-breathing people you have ever come across in your life. YouTube, I feel like those who are successful got to be a little bit intelligent, a little teeny bit. You got some mouth breathers running around YouTube too, but it's not as common for them to be successful on the platform because you got to be good. You got to be witty. You got to be quick. You got to be funny. You got to be entertaining. You got to be knowledgeable. You got to be smart. You got to be something. You can't just be a mouth breather and become viral. And you know, something else though, a lot of the people that don't want TikTok to leave, the influencers, a lot of them are mouth breathers. Imagine being a mouth breather and becoming an influencer and making millions of dollars. Imagine that. That happens on TikTok though, because they do pay. You can get paid a lot of money from that. So now that it's going to be gone, they're scrambling, trying to figure out what next to do. They have an addiction to the scrolling. They're hooked on it like heroin, and they're making money. So now they all kind of ways messed up. But anyway, that's where I'm not going to be on Zhang Haishu, Little Red Book. No thanks. But I'm everywhere else. You can find those pages on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact us. And of course, thank y'all for being here. I couldn't do the show without y'all. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you heard tonight, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I really, really appreciate y'all for what you do. Thank you to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting. I could not do this show without you. And I think I got all the super chats. Let me read the last one here. Shout out to YRSST for becoming an ABL supporter. I really, really appreciate y'all for that. I pretty much covered everything. That'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.